Good evening, saints, sinners, and foxes from all walks of life. Welcome to my den. I am Caden Silvertongue, and thank you for coming to listen to our Howling into the Void. Our episode this week, Fuck Your Weekday. Tonight is a bit of a relaunch of the show, and in the spirit of that, I wanted to introduce not just some familiar voices and some new, but also start a kind of new interactive element. So as a sort of nudge to the spirit of community, tonight's comment discussion topic: cell phones are cursed objects that cause psychic damage. With that, let's go and meet some friends. I like to call them the Skulk.
Start here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I think
say
we're
quick hi,
actually
and then-
on now.
Oh, well then. Hello, everyone. This is Raskin. I'll be back. Sort of. Shortly. 2 hours from now. Maybe less.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and turn off these 2 extra cans since we don't actually need them.
There you go.
How are we all
When I
doing
come,
tonight?
we'll be with the camera. We are doing good. And do you have anything you want me to read in full radio spiel to our audience?
Nah, not at the moment.
The entirety of the Magna Carta, please.
I'll give you the Gettysburg Address.
Oh, that's good.
And we all... Oh, gods, I might actually remember most of it.
Why haven't I ever told you just to do the NBC radio test?
WNBC!
Oh no. No.
Oh,
The full-on vocal test. Hold on.
oh,
gods.
what I was thinking of is the speech that Field Marshal Pentecost gives towards the end of Pacific Rim. That's always a good one.
Usually conclude... Well, I usually give my radio spiel at the end of an episode of Pirates, but...
Yeah. The professional that puts us all to shame.
I'm telling you, I'm only sounding like this because I've been doing it for 20 years.
It's the speed, my friend. It's the speed.
The speed and also the Casey Kasem impersonations, but yes.
Yeah. Alright, so, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the Skulk. This is actually the test I was talking about.
Okay.
And then while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our 2 new voices for tonight. We may or may not have a third. Depends on if Lily manages to get unbusy. So first off, we're going to have Gas Giant, who, for those of you who have been watching the Leverage series, is a familiar voice, but is new to Howling. So, welcome, Gas. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. How are you guys?
Stressed.
So the usual.
And then our second new voice, absolutely new, but has actually done 90% of the legwork for this stream, having made our new splash screen, the intro song, and our thumbnail for tonight is Chrissy. How are we doing, Chrissy?
Hello! I'm hanging in there. But you know what? Sometimes that's just enough.
So just realize the test I sent you, it says perform that entire thing in a single breath without sounding rushed or out of breath. The version we found and actually did earlier on this channel was you had to do it as, like, take it as little breath as possible, but also you had to repeat every line, so you're just building on top of every time you add a number.
Okay, I'll give this a roll when I get back, because I do have to enter my raid now.
Okay, well, you go have fun.
I'm reading through that and
later.
It's not the first
Sorry, I
time
was
we
just-
streamed without Rask.
I see.
It's doable.
Just
Okay.
reading through that as diabolical on my mind.
I wonder if I can still do it. Let's see if I can run through it real quick. One hen, 2 ducks. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pairs of Don Alverzo's tweezers. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pair of Don Alverzo's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonians in full battle array. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pair of Don Alverzo's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonians in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pair of Don Alverzo's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonians in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 sympathetic, apathetic, catatonic old men on roller skates with a marked propensity toward procrastination and sloth. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pairs of Don Alverzo's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonians in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 sympathetic, apathetic, catatonic old men on roller skates with a marked propensity toward procrastination and sloth, 10 lyrical, spherical, diabolical denizens of the deep who all stall around the corner of the quo, of the quay, of the quivery all at the same time.
Give the man a medal. Man.
It took me 4.5 hours to get that like at half speed.
That's impressive.
Wait, there's an 11th line?
Oh no.
11 Nutramatic synthesizing systems owned by the seriously cybernetic and marketing departments shipped via relative space flight through Draconian Sector 7.
What the?
Okay.
Oh, that was added by the Boy Scouts. Well, fuck you, Scouts of America.
You know, I used to
That
work
don't
for them
count.
at one point in time.
Too many lawsuits don't count.
I used to work for them at one point in time, and we had to do these like on Friday nights. They, which was the night before the scouts left after being at the summer camp for a week, because they always left Saturday morning, right? And the new scouts would come in Sunday morning. So Friday night they'd have this big jamboree thing with like the whole like stage show and everything, and the people who worked, the staff, had to come up with like short skits and stuff like that. Now I worked in the kitchen, so I was not obligated to take part in this whatsoever. I did so because I discovered that the more that like the program staff likes you, the more help you can get on stuff. And when you're in the kitchen, you oftentimes need help, because I never worked for them a single summer where half of the kitchen crew didn't decide to quit, right? So inevitably, I knew every summer I was going to need help doing something, okay? Because I knew however many people I had, I was going to have half that many by the end of the summer, okay? But we ended up doing this. I wrote this one skit we did. It was the Death Star versus the OSHA inspector. And it was basically one person played an OSHA inspector, because you know how in all the Star Wars movies, there's no handrails anywhere, just all these bottomless pits, you know, people falling off, no guardrails, no nothing, right? And that was the joke. So sitting there, like, one person played as Darth Vader with this like plastic Darth Vader face mask helmet thing, and then the other guy was the OSHA inspector, and he had a couple other guys there as stormtroopers, right? And he's like, well, I'm going to have to mark you off for no handrails here, no this, you know, a couple more things like this, and I don't care if you do work for the Emperor, but I'm going to have to shut you down. That kind of thing, right? And, and then there's a part where Darth Vader starts to get really pissed off at the OSHA inspector, and he comes up and he ignites his lightsaber and he goes to cut him down, and the OSHA inspector pulls out and he's like, I have the one thing that your lightsaber can't cut through, and he pulls out a thing of red tape.
I somehow
And
knew that was happening. Hey, Knox.
Oh, no,
Good to see you.
but
My
that's
God,
pretty
we have
much.
chatters.
But yeah, that was pretty much the whole thing.
That's awesome.
I think we even had one line in there where the just like Obi-Wan, the OSHA inspector, finally is about to lose to Darth Vader, and he says, "Just remember, Vader, if you strike me down, I will come back more powerful than you can possibly imagine."
Okay, the second test, I feel like this one's even more diabolical.
Oh.
Yeah, let me look at this.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh, oh no! I get what they're doing with that. It's kind of going through a cycle of languages and pronunciations, but oh man!
I would say I'd give it a go, but I know I'm gonna fuck that up.
Oh jeez.
Okay, so this is an intro episode, so let's introduce ourselves, or at least you two. Who wants to go first?
I don't mind going first.
All right, well, tell us a little about you.
Sure. So let's begin, shall we?
It all began when you were a young boy on your mother's lap.
And then suddenly I realized things were going to get very, very difficult. Yeah, so I currently work as a graphic designer and printer. It is the job that I wanted to do. Unfortunately, it's not the environment I want to be in. So I'm very happy to give my talents to you all. For making the music and the artwork. The music I have been doing for about 2 years now. Everything is, well, I would say pretty much everything is done through a program called Mixcraft 10. Although in some projects I will use my guitar, which is a Fender Squier, a very basic starter Squier that I picked up for about $100, and I haven't had a chance to use my acoustic yet. Unfortunately, I just got that in, so haven't had time to really tune it up, but hopefully I'll get a chance to use that. With the Mixcraft, I make a really weird variety of genres. There's a little bit of ambient, classical, symphonic that I make for one project, and then another one will be on the heavier electronic, sometimes even metal, or occasionally kind of like electronic grindcore in some cases. My tastes are incredibly wide-ranged. The only thing that I cannot stand is modern country.
Not true. That is not the only thing you cannot stand.
Well, I mean, there's other things, yes, but the one thing I can't stand in music.
True. I was gonna say, if anybody visits the BlackMagikAttik Bandcamp and then has the same question that I did of the what is that? I don't even remember the abbreviation.
Ah, yes, NSBM.
Yes, NSBM. That would be Nationalist Socialist Black Metal, aka Nazis.
Correct. That's why I say no NSBM.
Yes, we are strictly anti-Nazi on this channel.
I like to make that clear because with some of the stylings of my album artwork and some of the music that I make, kind of creeping into that black metal scene, especially with the imagery and the titles, the last thing I want to do is be associated with that.
Yeah, and that is a slippery slope.
So it's very verboten.
Indeed.
I do have one question for you, though.
Yes.
Is there an upgraded version of that guitar called a Knight?
Let me look. Because now you have me curious.
Well, if you have a Squire, you have to have a Knight.
Unfortunately, Fender didn't think that far ahead. The upgrade to the Squire is the Strat.
Well, that just blows everything up then. Now my immersion is gone. It's
Doesn't
broken.
look like there is one, but apparently there is one style of paint work you can get on it called Dark Knight. That's not the actual KNIGHT, but you know,
Okay.
it's close enough.
If it was that, you might be running into some. If it was that and it was black, gray, and yellow, you might be running into some copyright claims here.
I too have a Fender, but I'm wondering if I show it on stream, will anybody be able to actually identify what it was?
The only Fender I have is on my car.
An important one to have.
And there's a reason I phrase it that way. The reason I say what it was is because it was my father's guitar before mine. But it's not actually a guitar. This madman received 4 broken guitars and somehow managed to combine them all into one.
That is a gift.
Here's the problem. That means, because they were all 4 different guitars, they were all Fenders, but it has 4 different styles all in one guitar. So there are elements of a Fender Strat, an element of a Fender Squire, an element of a Fender Tele, and elements of a Fender Bass.
That probably sounds really intense, I'm sure.
Oh, it sounds great. Problem is that, you know, it's hand wired and everything, so it gets a little wonk sometimes.
Ah, gotcha.
We call it the mutt.
The only instruments I own are a clarinet and a saxophone, tenor saxophone.
Oh, nice.
I've got the guitar, I've got my keyboard, I've got my drum set, I've got my glockenspiel, my other glockenspiel, my marching glockenspiel.
Marching glockenspiel.
Oh yeah.
I used to march with my saxophone.
So marching glockenspiels are a rarity nowadays. They look like a lyre, and it is in fact called a marching lyre, but it is still a set of bells or chimes, whatever you want to call it. We call it glockenspiels. But yeah, so instead of laying flat like a normal piece, which anybody from band class will be familiar with, it actually rests vertically. And there is a bar that you rest on the back, and then you have to have a special carrying strap that goes around your neck and shoulders so that you can balance it. And then there's a secondary strap that also goes around your neck so that it is held vertically, and then you have to play it with the horizontal sticking, which is a pain in the ass.
Wait a minute. So did you have to also march while doing that?
I chose to march while doing that.
Jeez, why would you do that? I did marching band for years.
The same
So did I.
reason why I was diagnosed with scoliosis, have had 4 spinal surgeries, my spine is completely fucked, so I decided, hey, the best form of physical therapy I could possibly do is powerlifting.
Ah.
AKA, I'm a fucking moron.
Oh. You didn't know that at the time.
Oh no, I knew.
And
It's not that I have poor impulse control, it's just I don't really give a shit.
I see.
okay. Dumbest thing I ever did in marching band was eat an entire mug full, one of those big soup mugs full of hot fudge.
Ooh.
It is hard to decide what the dumbest thing I ever did in marching band was.
However, I did win $20, so you know.
There you go.
Profit.
Dumbest thing I did in marching band would that be riding the pit cart down a hill as if it was a chariot? Would it be allowing the teacher to lead us in a game of, what did she call it? Baby If You Love Me? Where at one point she was actually on top of a table and doing basically a burlesque striptease to try and make me smile.
Damn! What camp did y'all go to? Come on!
That was in Memphis.
Ours was grueling! Ugh.
I didn't go to high school in Memphis. That was just on our Memphis band trip.
Oh, man!
We also got to go to Sun Studios, the Gibson Guitar Factory, and a voodoo shop.
Okay, you know what? That's pretty cool.
I went to, my marching band went to Vegas one year.
Ooh, that's good too.
I wish we had gone to Vegas.
Actually, the funny thing is they told us, because it was high school marching band, no one was, old enough to gamble. So they told nobody, under no circumstances, when we're walking through the casino to get to our hotel room, don't touch anything, right? What does one guy do in the back of the line? Goes in, puts a quarter in a slot machine, wins the jackpot, but can't collect because he's underage.
Oh.
So we went to New York my senior year, and that was 2008. So our big rule was, you do not go past this point in Midtown. You do not go to Chinatown. You do not go on the subway. And for the love of God, you do not get in the cash cab.
I would have done 3 out of the 4 of those things.
I did 3 of those. Our first stop, we're like, we're going to Chinatown, right? Yeah, we're going to Chinatown. How are we getting there? Subway.
I was going to say, the Chinatown would have been my first stop.
Everyone's like, we're going to get on cash cab. Like, you're underage, you dipshit.
Yeah, they're not actually gonna pick you up, or if they do pick you up, they're not gonna film anything because
like, you can't even play because, even in the seniors, we're 18. You have to be 21 for that shit.
Yeah.
And then we got into a fight on whether or not there is a subway stop underneath the New York Public Library.
Wouldn't know that. I've
There
been
is.
to New York once. Oh, I've kind of been to New York once. Never into it. Drove kind of past through it. You know what I mean? Been to a lot of places. Just there's a lot of cities I haven't actually had the time to actually go in, but went through it, went by it. Saw it from a distance, took some pictures.
One place on earth that I never want to go back to, no matter how much you pay me, no matter what's happening there, I will never go back to Ohio.
Ooh. I'm sure there's a story in that one.
No, we just went to the, what was it in Ohio?
No one
Ohio
wants to
was
go to
the Madame Alexander doll factory.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was just in the middle of fucking nowhere, but just the feeling I got when I got out of the car, I was like, damn, I fucking hate Ohio. And then years later, I started writing a story, and I set it in Toledo, and I made it like this bombed out, drug infested shithole. And people from Ohio are like, yeah, no, you nailed Toledo on the head. How long did you live there? Never been there in my life, actually, but thank you for the compliment, I guess. Okay, any other
Detroit,
interesting facts?
No RoboCop.
What'd you say?
So it was like Detroit, but no RoboCop.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I do remember one thing, the biggest thing from band camp was my first year at band camp. And I got talked into messing with the drying clothes that the seniors had left on some clotheslines outside their cabin.
Oh no.
So while they were away, we grabbed a bunch of cans of Axe and just doused them. So, I mean, not the most horrible thing in the world, but still definitely not pleasant. We get back to our cabin. We're like, I'm feeling guilty for one, because the guilt just set in instantaneously. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. The rest of the guys were just laughing it up. Seniors get back. They proceed to break the locks on the doors to our cabin by jamming them with peanut butter. Then smearing jelly all over the windows so that the bugs would just come flocking to our cabin.
We never had cabins. We did all of our band camp on our grounds. Although that was bad enough because it was high August. And since we were doing it at the school, you know, any construction or anything that school was under, we had to deal with. Mm-hmm. We had 3 years where every summer the sewer line would burst.
Oh.
So we're marching in high August, like downwind from a fucking burst sewer line.
Oh.
Mine was always on school grounds too. We didn't go away anywhere. Same thing. It was always in August, right before school started. But yeah, we would do that, and it's the problem with us is in Southern California. My school was on the top of a hill, and so one of two things happened: either the sun was beating down on you, and you're sweating your ass off, or there was a breeze coming up the side, but the breeze was always cold as hell, so you were either freezing or you were too hot. It was never pleasant and in the middle.
Yep.
And it was worse when the wind was cold and would start making you freeze because you were just sweating a second ago because it was so hot.
Yeah, we had that happen.
I had a problem with one of my knees. So anytime I just didn't feel like marching or doing anything, I had this knee brace that had these metal hinges on the side, and I called it the squeaker because I never lubricated the hinges, so they squeaked, and they squeaked really loud. And I would go down to the football field, right, and I'd just start limping my way down the bleachers because there was no other way to get to the football field. Because our football field, since our school was on a hillside, the football field was actually a giant bowl carved into the side of the hillside, right? So you came in from the top and went down. And so I'd come limping my way down the stairs, and you just hear, wee, 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 you know, as I'm coming down, and my band director would just look at me and go sit over there. Wouldn't have to say anything.
Now, the problem we had is that we never learned how to march on the field that we actually needed to learn how to march on. We had a field next to the football field. That's where we learned all of our drill. Then we'd have to perform on the football field, which does not have the same texture or the same contours. And then we'd start doing our band circuit, and we all hated one of these schools because it looked level, but when you actually marched it, there was a giant hill in the middle of the field, and then on the extreme right side from the bleachers, there was a huge divot. And almost always, our drill would take us over the hump and into the divot at like breakneck speeds.
Oh God.
So I'm like,
Never
you
had
know,
that.
I'm glad I'm pit because I don't got to deal with that shit. I just sit over here.
I was not pit. I had to actually march because I was one of 2 tenor saxophones in the entire marching band.
Oh, I could have
Also,
easily
my
been a baritone if I ever wanted to, but I didn't feel like learning fingerings and my spine.
Oh, yeah, no. Also, my marching band was really small. We only had like 80 people.
What is that? Single A? Is that even
Something
is
like that.
double A?
But no, I think we were single. The thing was, we were actually we did so well, though. We kicked the shit out of everybody in our division on the West Coast, and it got to the point where, by my sophomore year, we had won either first or second place or best in show for like every competition we went to. So even though we were under the number of people, we got bumped up to double A. And then we kicked the shit out of that division. So we got bumped up to triple A. And we were literally going up against bands that were 2 or 3 times our size. And we were still getting awards every single field show.
Yeah. My senior year was the year that we finally won. We won our 11th competition in a row. Like, we had finally gotten S's for 11 years in a row. So we managed to make the all-state honor band. So we were the top band in the state.
Yeah.
And the very next year, our director left. Thank God I had graduated. Her replacement came in, looked at everybody I had taught, and just goes, so this is my band now? Every trophy in this band room is leaving because these are not our history.
Oh, you don't do that. No.
And then this same motherfucker, 2 months into season, has the nerve to ask me to train the kid who I had trained all throughout my marching career because he was like 2 years behind me. So like I taught this kid everything he knew. And he's like, well, he's just not getting the music. Can you like come in and give him lessons? I was like, sure, if you do it my way. And then I taught him my way, and he got to be great. And then he started playing better than the rest of the pit section. So the guy was like, okay, we don't need you anymore. And then promptly told the guy, you forget everything he taught you. We're doing it my way. And then they lost every competition.
Well, we had a similar thing happen. The band director I was under, I graduated, and our school district wouldn't give him the money that he wanted to. Not money he was asking for, like, to increase his pay. He was asking for more funding for the marching band, and our district wouldn't do it. And so a school district down the road was like, oh no, we'll not only give you that, we'll give you 3 times that for our marching band. We just want you to do to our marching band what you did to theirs, right? And he went and worked for that school district. And then the guy they got to replace our former band director, he blew through all the funds we had saved, and so the band was broke, and also the performances went down the toilet. And I felt so sorry for my younger brother because he had to endure 2 years of loss after loss after loss because they just sucked.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it gets worse. So not only did he lose everything that we had built up, not only did he start losing competitions, then around his 3rd or 4th year, the State Band Association stepped in and released a letter that they were stripping the school of all its awards that they had won underneath him.
You know?
They were like, okay, why? And like, well, because we caught him cheating. I was like, how the fuck did... Oh, no.
How the hell do you cheat at marching band?
Here's how.
Yeah.
Every year, up until 2008, when I graduated, every single year since 1973, I think, is when that school opened. When we have pit, we use exclusively manual instruments. We use glockenspiels, marimbas, vibraphones, everything. We
That's
play
what we do.
all of our music.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
He brought in electronic keyboards. They found out he was pre-recording the music and playing it during the show.
That
is insane.
That is
So they're like,
dumb.
every pit award that you've won with those keyboards is completely fucking fake because nobody was playing. So you are just
Like,
getting
how
all
did
your
the-
awards stripped.
Here's my question: is like, how does the student not realize it? Because I realize, like, if I pressed the wrong key, I would realize I pressed the wrong key. But if what I pressed didn't match what was
No.
coming
The
off of
students
thing,
knew. That was the point.
Oh, they did.
Like, they were
They
complicit
just
in it.
faked it. So they just faked it.
Yeah. Like, they would press the key just enough to where it looked like they were playing, but it wouldn't
But
trigger
not
anything.
to actually activate the thing.
Yeah. And I was like,
That's
that's bullshit, because, like, my whole point when I was in marching band was if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. So we learned how to quad stick. We did everything double octave. We did flash. We did pops. And they were like, well, we don't really care about pit. And I was like, yeah, we know. So we're just going to do our own thing. You guys go and fuck off.
I had this when I was in marching band. I had this one guy, and he had two volumes he could play at: loud and very loud. Okay. So the thing is, what I learned how to do is I learned how to play very softly. And I knew the music, but there were times I wasn't even actually playing. I was just doing the fingerings for the song we were trying to play. Because the guy next to me was playing so loud, if I even played a little bit, you would have heard too much saxophone. Right? So I had to be, like, really quiet all the time. And it sucked because I knew how to play the instrument. I was actually pretty decent at it. I wasn't, like, the best or anything, but I was pretty good at it. And it sucked because I couldn't play half the time because this other motherfucker was so goddamn loud. And I mentioned to it all. I would constantly, everyone in the band, the band director, me, the rest of the section, everybody would be like, "Dude, shut the fuck up, quiet down. You don't need to be that loud." And he just is all he could do.
It's my section, god damn it.
Well, the thing is, the two of us were the entirety of the tenor saxophones.
Yeah.
We had one bari, two tenor saxophones. So we were the three of us were the quote-unquote low woodwind section. That was it. That was just the three of us, right?
We had to fight tooth and nail to get a bari sax on field.
Yeah, no. One of my friends, guy in Nuisance Junior High, he used to play alto, but he decided, I'm done with alto, and he moved to bari. Because I guess the bari sax is the same, it's the same key as a alto, which is why I moved to tenor saxophone, because I used to play clarinet, and both clarinet and tenor sax are both B-flat instruments, and the fingerings are almost identical. It's just you have to push way more air through one than the other because the tenor sax is so much bigger.
You know what annoyed most people is that it turns out I don't have it for myself, but for everybody else, I have perfect pitch. Which meant I was that asshole the moment anybody was like a quarter step off. They're like, I'm playing perfect, I'm perfectly in tune. I was like, no, you're fucking not.
I do not have that. I do not have that thing. Also, I not only do not have perfect pitch, but I am also colorblind. So I'm a professional artist that is colorblind. So anytime I have to do color
shapes are
work,
right.
well, no. So when I do color work, I have my colored pencils and my markers and anything I do in real life organized in a very specific way in the trays, so that I know I'm actually picking up the actual color that I need. And then the other thing on top of that is when I do digital work, I either go and use the hex code for the color that I want, or I'll use the always forget what they're called. I'll use the Pantone numbering system for the Pantone codes for the colors that I need. Because then you're getting exactly the shade of whatever that you need, right? You're not gonna, oh, this looks close enough. No, if you have the correct number, you're getting exactly what you need. Because I can't color match for shit. Like, my life could literally depend on it, and I wouldn't be able to do it.
All right, Chrissy, it's your turn to ramble.
Okay, well, I was thinking about what I could ramble about, and I thought about a little story I could tell from college. So, there was a guy who lived on the floor that I was on when I transferred to this college by the name of Larry. Larry was about 6'5", and just all around an incredibly kind, good-natured person.
I mean,
He
with a name
also...
like Larry, was either that or he was a douche.
Right, exactly. And the only thing that was sometimes amiss about Larry was when it came time to party. Because Larry loved to party. And he loved to get creative about partying. And it wasn't just, let's have a beer to do pre-gaming with. No, it's we're making a mix. We're playing a game. We're making another mix. It's like we still have 2 hours before we go out, Larry. But didn't stop him. And we always had a great time. There was one day where I was visiting with the gentleman who lived next to me. Can't recall his name, unfortunately. But he had just gotten a care package from home, and he was checking it out as we were chatting. He goes, "Oh, guess what I got?" I said, "Oh, show me." And he pulls out a plastic bag that has been multiple plastic bags put over the top of it, and whatever is inside it is wrapped up in I want to say it was what do you call that? Yeah, it was wrapped up really, really nice and tight. Couldn't see into it. So he takes his time and he's opening bag after bag after bag and finally unfurls it and opens it up, and he's got ghost peppers. He goes, "You want to try one?" I said, "Absolutely not. I'm a puss." And he said, "Well, that's fine." Now, by this point, a couple other people who had lived on the floor were filtering in, hearing the conversation. Once the ghost peppers came out, "Oh, dude, we gotta try the ghost peppers!" So, of course, guy pulls out a knife, cuts tiny, tiny little slivers, makes sure to hand it to them on paper towel. And he says, "Don't touch your eyes. Don't want to, get that in your eyes." So, and they were dying. They were coughing, turning red. And these were not hefty slices. These were pretty well thin. But they're still, reacting pretty heavily. Now, if I remember, this was on Saturday. And we had just been out partying the Friday night. So across from the hall was Larry's room. Larry's door opens. And this man comes over to us. And we could tell he'd already been pre-gaming. Because he had that smile and that shine in his eyes that were like, oh boy, something's gonna happen. Comes over, hey dudes, what's going on? What we doing? We're just trying some ghost peppers, Larry. Yeah, man, can I have one? Sure. And the guy goes to cough a slice. He's like, what are you doing? Well, I'm cutting you a slice. You don't want to eat this entire thing. What do you think I am, a pussy? He grabs the ghost pepper off his lap and immediately takes the entire thing down. There's a good 5-second pause of him crunching into this thing, where the smile and the smugness on his face melts. And just a look of pure horror covers his face, which is now starting to turn incredibly red. He realizes what he has just done and proceeds to scream as loud as possible and run to the nearest... Oh, God. Why can't I think of words tonight? Water fountain. That was the word I was thinking of. Water fountain. And he is just crying and bubbling into this water fountain. From down the hall to the left, another door opens. And this belonged to a gentleman by the name of Hanks. That's all he would let us call him. Hanks. This man was as southern as they cut. This man was the flannel-wearing, cinnamon Jack Daniels drinking son of a gun. He comes over to us. He goes, what the hell is going on here? Larry just ate an entire ghost pepper. Damn my... And he just goes right back to his room, comes back out with a half gallon of milk, and goes, drink this, you idiot. Where he pulls the top off, is chugging it, and makes his way back to his room. By that point, we had all decided it was time to disperse, and about 2 hours later, getting close to time to get ready to pregame, Larry's door opens again, and he comes heading over. My door was open, so I waved to him, and I'm like, you doing all right? He's like, yeah, man. And he's still pretty red. Just shirt is drenched from the milk. And he makes his way over to my neighbors. Knocks on the door. Hey, man, Larry, how you doing? Yeah, man. Can I get another one of those ghost peppers? Door slammed in the face. And that was my story about Larry.
Why is it always an asshole named Larry?
That man was the equivalent of an incredibly tall golden retriever.
Yeah,
he just wanted to have fun and party and just enjoy life.
So, I have a story of my own. It's not too dissimilar. Okay? So, when I was in about the tail end of being in college, I had started dating this girl who was from China, specifically Szechuan China. Everything she cooked was spicy as hell. So I got used to it, okay? Actually, the spice, I got to the point where just just regular, mild or medium salsa just wasn't doing it anymore. I had to go for the hot shit every time, or else it just wasn't, Anyway, so we go to, there's this area called Roland Heights, okay? North of where I live. Now, Roland Heights has a huge Asian community. Some of it's Chinese, some of it's Japanese, there's a little Korean up there, but there's it's the kind of place where you go up there and 90% of the signs in one specific neighborhood, nothing's in English. Okay? So we go to this one Chinese place, right? And she walks up there, and I'm like, so what do you want? She's like, I already know. Just let me order. I'm like, okay. She walks up there, starts in Mandarin, just starts talking to this guy, right? And then she's like, okay, we're gonna get our food. And I was like, well, what did we order? It's like, oh, I want you to try some of this stuff, right? Nothing she ordered was on the actual menu, right? It was all like not what we're used to as Chinese food, but like real Chinese food. Okay? So one of the things they give is there's this pot. We get this pot of soup that gets brought to us, right? And this is when I had my Temple of Doom moment. Okay? You remember that scene in the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom where the singer, the blonde lady, she's sitting there and she's like getting grossed out by everything. And she's like, I'll just have the soup. And they bring her the soup and it looks like this deep blood red kind of thing. That's what it looked like that we had just got. This like deep, so much spice floating in this that it looks almost blood red, right? Okay, and she dips her spoon in and an eyeball pops up, right? Well, I had the same thing. I go to dip my ladle in to get some soup for me and her, and first thing I get is this giant chicken claw just poking up at me, and I'm like, what did you order? He's like, oh, I got some chicken soup, and it's like, I don't know, most of the chicken soup I've had does not include the feet. And she's like, but that's the best part, and I'm like, well, you know what? You can have all of those. And I mean, the soup was great. It made my eyes water because it was so freaking spicy, and my nose was running. But I ate it, and it was still pretty good. How can you call it
chicken soup if it doesn't include the chicken?
Well, no, the chicken was in there, but they don't throw, like, this is like the kind of soup this is. They don't throw anything away. So like the chicken feet, which normally would be used for maybe something else, because I know they use chicken feet in certain parts of like Southern cooking and other stuff like that. Not where I live. I've never eaten chicken feet. That's not something we usually do around here. But yeah, it's just like, but that soup was incredibly spicy, and it had plenty of chicken meat in it. It just also included the feet, which I was not used to. That was a little bit of a shocker to me. But yeah, I don't know. I tried one. I'm not a big fan. They're a little too crunchy for me.
I will never eat chicken feet. I will never eat gizzards. I will never eat scrapple.
Oh, also, while we were there, so the guy who we sat at our table, and there were no place settings, right? Just a couple of napkins. And so what does this guy do? He walks over, sets down chopsticks for her, and then puts a fork on mine.
Well, yeah, you're the white guy.
And I'm like, what the? And I just looked at him like, where's my chopsticks?
But you're so white.
The funny thing is, that was one of the things, because we had dinner with her family a few times at this point, that she literally drilled me on how to use chopsticks. Like she would not let me get up from the table until I got to the point where I could take my chopsticks and pick up individual grains of rice on purpose, not just accidentally kind of stab it and pick it up, right? Or flick it off.
Purposefully grab it.
Yeah, I had to be able to purposefully grab them time after time, single pieces of rice, right? Just one grain at a time. Because she didn't want me, apparently, she didn't want to be embarrassed in front of her family, because there were no forks. It was going to be all chopsticks, because we were eating at like her family's house. So I had to get real good real fast.
This is why I just don't eat at other people's houses.
Well, it was what it was at the time.
I'm kind of glad that I don't have the same squeamishness to certain things as some members of my family.
Oh.
Like, my mother can never eat meringue for the rest of her life because of her uncle.
I love meringue. It's good.
Yeah, but would you love it if this motherfucker looked at you while you have this big-ass mouthful of meringue saying how much you love it and telling you that it's calf slobber?
I wouldn't have affected me, because I know for a fact that it isn't, and there's nothing.
Well, I mean, she
anyone
was a
could have
little
done.
girl and she grew up on a farm, so it looked the same.
Ah. That would do it.
You know, she's used to her grandmother who would sit there and be like, "Hey, you know, we're gonna have dinner. I just got to go out and get it." And by "get it," she meant which chicken pissed me off today.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, my mom had to do the same thing. Sometimes. I think usually my grandpa took care of that.
Yeah. Although I still don't know why this woman who grew up on a farm should be like reverent about where her food comes from. Still thinks the proper color for a steak is gray.
Oh, no. Oh, my heart.
I don't care
Like-
how much you cook. When you cook it, it still has to be at very least pink on the inside.
Exactly. So I actually printed out that
Bare minimum.
I printed
Bare
out the
minimum.
Traeger internal temp where it just says gray. What have you done?
Yeah, no. I actually prefer my steaks. I usually prefer my steaks somewhere between medium rare. Like medium well is the most I've ever had a steak.
Yeah, I think medium well is like my cutoff now. It's like if there's like, well, would you like it well done? No.
I prefer medium. I prefer medium rare. Sometimes just a little bit below that.
Yeah. Like I don't think I will never take a steak blue. If anybody
Oh,
gives
God,
me a
no, that's
blue
gross.
steak, I will fucking stab them.
No, you need to cook it a little more than that.
Like I think a light purple is probably the most raw I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I have had steak blue, and I gotta say, not the worst thing I've ever had in my life, but I'm definitely more of a rare fan.
Yeah. You know what's funny? The thing that nobody tells you about being in food service, but you know, all of us who have done it know. You lose your shame about people's cooking real fucking quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I was over at a friend's house and I've known her for years, so I know her parents, like barely, but I know her parents. And her dad was cooking burgers and I bit into mine and it was like that bright pink of just started to char.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't even say anything. I just put the bun to the side, walked over to her kitchen, grabbed a frying pan and just fucking threw it back on the stove.
Yeah. Oh God.
He's like, "Oh, was it not cooked enough?" And I was like, "It wasn't cooked, Bill." And he was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
She's just sitting there like, "How do you know where my frying pans are?" It's like, you told me, that's how. I've been here before.
Yeah.
Also, one of the most awkward moments I've ever had in my life was I was my ex-best friend's best man at his wedding. But, you know, we were so close. It was the same guy I was telling you about, the guy from marching band who I taught everything to. We were so close that, like, at some point, even after his girlfriend moved in, like, I basically just lived at his apartment. And there were multiple cases where her parents would just walk in and I'd be in the shower or something. So like there was one day I was staying over and I didn't realize her mother was there. It's like I just walk out of the bathroom, I've got nothing but a towel around my waist, going to grab my clothes. Like look up, her mom's just staring at me. I was like, "What is he doing in your shower?" And she's just there, just like, "Did you expect me to, like, not let him shower?" Another time we were helping him move a couch. And, like, we got it in. And then I went into the kitchen. And I looked at her stepdad. I was like, "Hey, you want a cup of coffee?" He's like, "Why does he know where your coffee is?" I was like, "Guys, I live here, basically, okay? Like, I lived here for a week when they were on their honeymoon. I'm the one who cleaned this apartment up. What the fuck is so weird about this?
I mean, I had a best friend. I lived at his parents' house for a little while. I practically lived at his house for the longest time. I knew where everything was, even at his parents' house.
Yeah. I don't get why that's so weird to people.
Heck, I've even gone over there, I've gone over there and helped him and his mom cook, Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner before. I know where all this stuff is.
Yeah, I mean, that should be the mark of a good friend, is they can just walk into your house and be like, sit the fuck down, I know what I want, I know what you want.
I mean, this is a friend who, when we were in college, we would, a couple times a week, we'd go to his house, because his house was right up the street from the college we went to, and we'd go over there. We had a couple hours in between classes, so we'd go there, watch like an episode of Stargate SG-1, have a sandwich, and then play 45 minutes of Crazy Taxi, where we were constantly trying to beat each other's high scores.
I miss Crazy Taxi. I miss the old PlayStation games. I downloaded an emulator. I gotta find that thing and just see if I can find any of the good old games to start streaming.
You know, it got to the point where there were all of the default high scores in the game were gone. We got to the point where we cleared them out, and it was just me and him back and forth. Here's my initials, here's his initials, and everything in the thing was the highest score it could possibly be, and each subsequent high score was maybe a handful of points higher than the next. Because we got to the point where you were just literally min-maxing for a couple extra points at that point.
Yeah.
Just to see how high, there was physically no way to get more points than you had. There was, mechanically speaking, the game couldn't do it. Because you'd run out of time, there were not enough tricks you could do, there was just the map's only so big, there's only so many fares, right?
Yeah.
So at a certain point, there's nothing to do, and you run out of time and you're done. So,
what were our favorite old school games?
My favorite, and to this day, possibly, in my opinion, still one of the greatest games ever made, is Super Metroid.
That's a good choice.
That's a really good question. Trying to think of the one that I still play to this day.
This is a really easy way to date ourselves, depending on our answers.
Because honestly, the only one that came to mind, the first one that came to mind was Super Mario 64.
I think that's a lot of people's favorite still.
That, I want to say, though, Super Mario 64, when compared to other Mario games, though, feels a little creepy sometimes.
Oh, no.
Oh,
it was hella creepy.
Very much so.
There's one level in particular where you're in this city that's abandoned, and there's just a few random insectoid creatures in there that are very cartoony looking, but there's no toads, there's nothing there, and you have to raise and lower the water level in it. And when you get to the top of the level, the skybox just has, you can see there's supposed to be more city in the background, and it looks like this creepy Twilight Zone version of, that there's this one really famous village in Greece with all these white buildings on the side of some cliffs and stuff.
Yeah.
It looked like that, but creepy, because it had this weird bluish gray sort of filter over it, so it looked like you were looking at it in twilight lighting or something like that. And it was just it was a really bizarre level, and the lack of the fact that it only had a couple of bad guys in it, right? It felt weird and empty, and sort of, it just was really creepy. And the music didn't help either.
Trying to remember the name of that level now.
But you know which one I'm
trying to
talking
picture it
about,
in my
right?
head.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, hold on. God, I could see how to get into it in the game. Hold up.
But, like,
oh no, wait, I can't. I haven't.
But like the
progressed.
only enemies in it are a couple of these like dudes that there are these insectoid things that like skim the surface of the water.
I mean, it's definitely not Dire Docks.
No.
Now you're gonna make me really look for it.
If only we had more than 3 people streaming.
Okay, let me see. Jesus, I just want a list of the levels, not an entire synopsis.
They'll give you the fucking making of.
Ugh.
Did you know that Mario was made to pick his nose at this point because they could?
It was called Wet and Dry World.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Why don't I remember that level?
Oh, but like I said, look it up and like look at the skybox and look at the level. It is legitimately kind of creepy because it is so barren.
Yeah.
I find it funny. The level that they tried to make creepy, I always loved just for the fucking carousel.
Oh.
Big Boo's Haunt?
Yeah.
Nightmares as a child.
Oh, did you ever notice that in the very first level in Mario 64, when you go through there, when you're going up the mountainside, that hill in the center, to get to the King Babam, there's only 2 of these giant black spheroid things in this pit that you have to try to navigate. But after you defeat him, and when you get every other star after defeating him, there's now 3.
Yep.
Who remembers that?
Almost as if the King Babam was now dead and his body was just rolling in that pit.
I mean, I think a lot of people didn't realize that Super Mario 64 was one of the first games to introduce proper level scaling.
It worked really well, too.
Yeah, because it was subtle. It didn't just fucking spike the difficulty for no reason.
I'll tell you, I loved Super Mario 64, but I remember vividly renting both of the Legend of Zelda games, completely lost. Had no idea what I was doing in any of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love those.
Dude, I loved Ocarina of Time, but then I got to the trade quests and I was like, no, fuck this. I need a strategy guide. I was so pissed off when Majora's Mask came out. Because I felt like it just pissed all over Ocarina of Time. But, like most people from my generation, I grew into it.
There was one game that I did play constantly, even though I never fully beat it, didn't unlock everything. But that was Star Wars Pod Racer.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Right?
And then you realize that once you got Watts Tyrell, you were basically the fucking king of the game.
I never played that game, actually. But the one game that I used to play over and over prior to Super Metroid was Contra.
Ooh. I never played
Contra.
Contra.
I love Contra. I could actually beat that game without dying.
Wait a minute, who's the baby in this group right now?
Not me. I'm actually old enough to remember. And have seen the event that possibly. Well, I didn't actually see it personally because no one I know owned an Atari. But when I was young, I was well aware of the debacle that was E.T., the video game.
You're the baby right now.
I'm the baby?
You're the baby.
Alright, that's fine. Honestly, that's a first for me in many of the
You are
the hangouts I've been at outside.
Yeah, you're just barely the baby. You're like 2 years younger than me.
Wow, no kidding.
And I am by far the oldest.
Until Rascal and Roloff gets back.
Yes, and then I'm not anymore. But yeah, I am not without actually saying when I was born. I was old enough to have seen 1, possibly 2 of the original Star Wars movies in theaters.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I definitely know I saw Return of the Jedi. I think I was really little, and I might have seen Empire. But you know what movie I did see and definitely got my mom my mom had to leave.
Alice in
Conan the
Wonderland, a
Barbarian.
musical porno?
No, Conan the Barbarian.
Everyone has good memories of Conan.
No, apparently, a small baby me was super excited to see that movie. I don't know why. I don't even know if I understood what was going on. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But apparently, yeah, no. Every time I wouldn't shut up. Anytime Conan like popped out his sword and would start fighting, I'd get super excited and I'd start jumping up and down and shit. So yeah, my mom had to leave because people were complaining I was too loud.
I think my parents got irritated every time they asked me, like, hey, where does all this like gay imagery come from? Why are everyone gay now? I was like, did you look at the movies in the 80s?
Yeah. My mom, who's not too far away, chimed in with, that's why we started going to drive-ins.
Dude, one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I don't know how you look at the movie and not see it, but I was actually told by somebody, Top Gun doesn't have any homoerotic subtext whatsoever.
What cut of the movie are they watching?
Yeah, like I even pulled up the volleyball montage. They're like, no, that's just guys playing volleyball. It's like,
well,
guys?
Okay, here's the deal. Back in like the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that, there were certain things that were more socially acceptable, whether or not they actually had any subtext under them. If they did, nobody talked about it. Right? Well, it was just understood you don't say anything.
Guys playing volleyball, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure that the moment you get like a gallon of fucking body oil to play volleyball, it's not subtext anymore.
I mean, you know what? One of my favorite cartoons growing up was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And that was... and if you look at it nowadays, you're looking at it's like, wow, that's probably one of the gayest cartoons ever made.
And it got worse when they rebooted it for the 90s.
Actually, no, that one wasn't quite as bad. The thing is, it was a lot less overt in that He-Man didn't have this sparkly transformation sequence. Well, pseudo sparkly, because there were sparkles, but there was also like lightning and thunder and Earth was cracking open, so it was very manly, but there was just this hint of like 80s sparkle in there. So it's like, yes, we're gonna and we've all seen I imagine most of you, if you've never seen the actual episodes, have at least seen some of the clips that people have chosen to cherry pick from the old 80s cartoon, where you're like, how did no one say this was gay?
I mean, we all know the meme song that came out of it.
Well, yes. However, though, it was a well open secret that Filmation, the studio that made that cartoon, and subsequently She-Ra, the Princess of Power, was literally the gayest place to work in Hollywood.
I always wanted him and She-Ra to mix up swords one day.
Oh, to see what happens if she uses the Sword of Power and he uses the Sword of Wisdom?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it wouldn't work because they just shout their own activation phrases, and then the swords would just be like, "That's not me, bitch."
Oh no, maybe it would, but maybe the powers would be a little. I don't know. Like He-Man shows up in like 4-inch gold stiletto ankle boots and a red cape and and then She-Ra's is like semi topless with a this like X
Oh
shaped
man, she would
belt
never be
and
able to wear Adam's harness. No way.
and a furry red diaper.
Yeah.
No, because she couldn't, because it wouldn't be suitable for kids, because everything would just be hanging out.
Exactly. And then we had the cartoon that you couldn't say it was gay, you couldn't say it was straight, it just was. It was Thundercats.
I used to love that show, though. I watched the shit.
I know, but people are like, how could you sexualize Thundercats? It's like, no. The better question is, what were they trying to sexualize in Thundercats?
Well, I mean, technically, Thundercats, when you look at it, it's literally just a step away from furry stuff.
I mean, yeah, especially in the case of Chitara.
Which, the funny thing is in the first episode, when they drew her, she didn't have the leotard on at all.
Nope.
I mean, they didn't draw anything, but for all intents and purposes, she was naked in that first episode. In fact, I think most all of them were.
Actually, the funny thing is, that's become kind of a test for me when I'm dealing with furries, is I'll ask them which was their gateway cartoon, Thundercats or Brave Star.
Oh god, Brave Star, remember that?
Because like if they say Thundercats, I'm like, all right, cool, you're just like basic. But if they're like Brave Star 3030, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to watch you. You're the freaky shit.
I don't know what that one is actually.
It's so Brave.
Let me get you a picture of 3030.
It was about a Native American sheriff on was it New Texas? I think it was.
Yes,
was the
New
name
Texas.
of the planet. And he was a sheriff or a Texas Ranger or something like that. And his sidekick was a cybernetic horse that he rode. But when he needed to, the cybernetic horse would kind of transform and get like a little buffer and more humanoid. And he could wield a pair of guns and just start like going down.
No. Not a pair of guns. 3030's signature gun was his shotgun, which he almost killed Brave Star over when they first met.
Point was,
I'm going to put this in general so everyone can, everyone on the Discord can be amazed at the glory of Brave Star.
Yep, that is it.
There are people who look at that and they're like, I don't get what you're talking about. How can I be a furry if I like 3030?
I think the thing that's actually throwing me off the most is the shotgun.
Yeah, no. That is 3030's gun. He is majorly possessive over it.
It looks like it has just a gigantic compensator where there should be a barrel.
That is the barrel.
Oh.
Maybe
So they say shotgun. It's more like a cannon.
Yeah.
Actually, though, the other thing, other than I think, there was 2 other cartoons that were really my speed when I was growing up. No, technically 3. Other than like He-Man and Thundercats, there was Voltron.
Voltron was fun, yeah.
I used to love that. Then there was also Silverhawks.
I remember those. I never saw that show, but I remember it.
Okay, it was a good show. I liked it. They fought this guy who had this giant space squid, and he was like the leader of. He was like a space mobster, right? But his name was, his first name was Mon, and his last name was Star, so he was Monstar.
Oh Jesus!
And his whole symbol was this like. If you've ever played like. His whole symbol thing he had going on was if you've ever played 40K, like the whole Chaos Star thing going on. So he had that going on, and he would do this whole thing, and it was like this weird demonic transformation thing he would go through. And then, kind of like He-Man had Battle Cat, he had this giant space squid that he would ride around in. And then the Silverhawks, they were like silver cyborg people that had like wings that would come out, that would attach to their arms that would come out the side of their body. And they flew through space, and they fought this Monstar guy. And then the last one, which probably everybody has heard of. If you haven't, you probably lived under a rock, was G.I. Joe.
I mean, if you haven't heard of G.I. Joe, at least, through memes.
I mean, when I got a little older, because it came out a few years later than all that stuff, when I was a little older, I got into Ninja Turtles a bit.
Ninja Turtles is like hit or miss. You either like it or you don't.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I watched the cartoon because I used to have this friend, and he owned the comic books. And so when the cartoon came out, I was excited because I was like, oh my God, they're going to make Ninja Turtle cartoon. And it was not anything like the comic book.
Yeah, no, they watered Ninja Turtles down a hell of a lot.
I was not expecting... Well, I wasn't expecting them to kill anybody or stab anybody with their weapons, right? But at the same time, I was also not expecting Shredder to be the primary antagonist for as long as he was, because in the comic books, he only lasts a few issues.
Oh, yeah.
And the Ninja Turtles straight up murk him. Right? And then eventually Krang comes along, and eventually there are the Saurians and everything. By the time they got to any of that, the Ninja Turtles cartoon from the late 80s, early 90s got really goofy.
Yep.
The toys got super goofy too, because at the time there was this huge like religious right push to try to take violence away from like kids' toys and kid cartoons and all this stuff. So what Playmates, the company that made the Ninja Turtles toys, did is, like, the Ninja Turtles were the only ones who came with like actual weapons. Most of the other guys, like the other figures, with the exception of Shredder, Splinter, and Usagi Yojimbo, they had like wacky weapons, like, oh, we're gonna have a pizza launcher, or this weird disc thrower thing, or like, oh, I'm a giant like winter wolf dude who has this like snow cone shooter thing. It's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, I love how like almost every toy in the 90s, if it had a weapon, it was either a disc launcher or a fucking harpoon gun.
Yeah, because harpoons aren't gonna kill you.
Yeah, harpoons are dangerous.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the things that is probably wrong with a lot of people nowadays, is they were raised with this softer bullshit with like some of the violence taken out, so we can't protest anymore because we've forgotten how to riot.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like, I remember like all the He-Man toys came with like swords and axes and actual. All the OG G.I. Joes came with actual. They weren't laser guns. No, it was actually an M16.
Oh yeah,
right.
Because like G.I. Joe used to be proud that they were fucking military.
And like Snake Eyes, he literally had a pair of Uzis and 2 katanas that he came with, right? And they were actual proper Uzis.
Because when we think ninja, we think Uzi.
Yeah. Oh, on that, this is like kind of a little off topic, but tangentially related. So there used to be a video game that was for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 and stuff like that, called Tenchu Stealth Assassins. Okay. I used to love that game. I bought, I think, the first 3 of them, but then around the time the 4th and the 5th one came out, they started coming out on systems that I didn't own, right? So I missed out on those. But anyway, so number 2 had a level where there was water everywhere. Okay? And I was at Comic-Con one year, and I brought my PlayStation 2 and everything, and we set it up in the hotel room. And my best friend, his older brother, used to love this game too, and he was super competitive. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bet you $50 right now that I, in one try, I can get through this entire level with nothing. I won't swing my sword, and the only attacks I will make are with grenades. And I'm talking loud, boom, this explodes and someone dies, grenades, right? These are not stealthy. And I will still get a high score of Grandmaster, right? And he's like, what are you talking? You can't do that. And I'm like, watch this. So I go in, I swim under the water, and the thing is there's a maneuver you can do where if you hit jump right as you touch the water, you'll launch yourself out of the water and do this forward flip, right? And it launches you way into the air. Well, the thing is boss battles don't count for how much noise you make or being seen. So the thing is I launched myself out of the water and I landed on the boss arena. So that automatically started the boss fight, okay? Mm-hmm. And so the boss comes at me and I just start throwing grenades at him, right? And the thing is you can carry just enough grenades to kill the boss if you never miss, right? So I'm just like, boom, 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 done. And, level ends, shows the cutscene, my score comes up, perfect score, Grandmaster, right? And he just looks at me and I'm like, told you I could do it, right? And from that point on, one of my friends got me, that same friend of mine, his oldest brother worked at a shooting range. So he got a hold of an empty grenade from a friend of his, where they drilled out the bottom and took all the explosives out. Mm-hmm. And and they had a grenade, and they spray painted with a stencil Stealth Master on the side of it. So I had a Stealth Master grenade.
I'm trying to see if we have anybody else coming in, because if we are done with intros, I may as well just start up a game of Cards Against, but I don't know how many people we have in chat, and there's just 3 of us. That's kind of a really crap game.
Well, it is what it is.
It is. And it's not like we have a problem rambling. It's kind of our job.
Exactly.
Oh, I could ramble for hours.
We could go in depth into the psychology of Carlos Rojas and why he feels the need to fuck everything with a pulse.
Because me as the player thought it would be funny. And the funny thing is I play a shit ton of D&D, and I've played bards before, but I've never played the quote-unquote horny bard before. Ever. In fact, one bard I played was a half-orc bard, and his primary weapon was a great axe. But it was a great axe that at one point in the game, I was able to bind a wind elemental to it. And so what would happen is, with my bardic instrument was my great axe. I'd flip it around and play it like it was an electric guitar. And it actually was an electric guitar because the wind elemental provided the quote-unquote electricity. And I would play heavy metal riffs to do all my bardic inspiration stuff. So I played all kinds of stuff, but I've never played the horny bard. So I decided, you know what? I've actually never played a horny character ever in a TTRPG. So I was like, you know what? Why not try this out when people are watching? Because there's nothing that could go wrong ever with that plan. Right now.
Set up a game and then I accidentally fucking started it, so now I gotta go back and reset that.
what?
How many points do we think is good to play to, huh?
I don't know.
I was thinking maybe 11.
I usually go for
That's not-
around 15, but that can go on for a while.
15's not bad. Well, yeah, I guess we can always see.
All right, yeah, we'll start with 15.
All right.
I mean, hell, if we really want to, we can play around. I can just add bots.
We could, if nothing more than to obfuscate, like who's playing what cards and stuff.
I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a link, but we're just not gonna use it yet. But I'll drop it in. Oh, what the hell? I'll drop it in the general chat. So anybody who wants to,
Come on.
yeah. Damn it, furry habits. I can't use exclamation marks anymore. I keep putting a tilde at the end of things.
Ah,
I was like, I'm not saying this in a woo voice. Fuck you.
furry habits, is that like a fox girl nun or something?
A what?
Said furry habits, would that be like a fox girl nun?
No, that'd be like, what is it? The princess in Conan the Destroyer? Or when they had that winter gear and she just had that, like, all fur dress?
Oh, yes.
It's in there for a second. Hold on. I messed it up. There we go.
No, I fucked up. How? And I do actually have it to where we can stream the game. I want to see if we get any other players. Give Rask and Explosive Seal time to get here.
Oh, yeah, his time for, unless his raid just got totally borked, he should be done soon.
If he's doing a WoW raid, yeah, it should be done in a couple, at least another 30 minutes, I think. 1 second. Thank God he's not doing a 14 raid. Those can take hours.
Ugh. You know, one thing I hated about older MMOs is I hated how the raids always took so long.
I still don't know how I feel about MMOs. I like them conceptually. I don't like the toxicity of them.
Okay, well, yeah, and it's something I'm starting to run into. So I've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten to the point where I've gotten through all of the story content. I've done most of the hunts I need to. I've got a solid build. I'm really good with my weapon of choice, right? But I'm getting into points where, like, I'm getting into that point of the game where you're at such a high level. This is where, like, all the hardcore, I'm finally catching up to where all the hardcore players are, right? And, like, if you show up to a monster fight and you're not running a very specific thing, or you don't have the right stuff, or your damage output isn't exactly this or better, like, you know, they'll like, everyone will quit, right? And then reform up and stuff like that. It's like, the fuck, man?
Dear Christ, we said his name and he appeared.
I heard parsing. And so I come with my Shadow Priest and my Red Mage. And the D&D character I have that is basically a Sith created entirely with levels of Barbarian and Mystic.
Is it that you heard us whispering the arcane knowledge, or is it that you heard 14, or did you just know that we were about to launch into Cards Against?
I am like a roll on a Thaco table. You never know when I'm going to show up.
Oh, that reminds me. I saw this one shirt at Comic-Con one year. that was a play on the old, like some of the old Dare shirts, and it just said "Thaco is wacko."
Jesus. Remember when every arcade game had winners don't do drugs and nobody listened?
Well, that's because winners did drugs. There was no way you were going to get those crazy combinations without the power of cocaine. Just ask Snowflake.
The cocaine, you got the steroids and the professional sports.
No, and if you're talking about music, there's no amount of good music you're going to get without at least some cocaine and some weed, and maybe some amphetamines.
LSD.
By the way, if I bring in a night kind,
please do.
Let me send her an invite link. One sec.
I was fully expecting Nightkind to be here.
She might not have, remembered necessarily. Hang on.
I mean, it was no big deal. I figured if she was busy.
I just figured, I smelled so bad everyone could smell it through the internet.
I mean, if that was the case, they would have gotten you through.
No one would be here.
I was about to say we've been through like 3 games of leverage by now. Okay, you know what? Fuck this. I am tired of writing out my descriptions by hand every stream, so I am actually gonna save just like a stock description. That's right, you get to hear how lazy I am about these streams on stream.
She should be with us in just a sec. Should I be turning on my camera?
I don't see why, because I'm just going to be streaming the game. Hello, Night
Hello.
Time.
Hello.
Hey, we can hear you tonight.
It was the cord to my mic.
Haha. Also, we figured out Gas Giant's problem.
And that would be not enough ointment?
It would be didn't charge the batteries of their mic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the mic on my headset, it's got this weird design where it has an internal battery existed.
Uh-huh.
And it'll work without the battery being charged, but it's a lot less powerful.
Okay.
And so if you charge it, all of a sudden your voice is just amplified tenfold.
Well, I am glad that we are fixing our problems. Yay.
Well, this is generally what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got the game up. We've already started. It's in general, so anybody who's in the Discord can join. And you know what? Screw it. Why not? Can somebody go ahead if you have the stream up and just throw the link in the stream?
Oh, we're doing COH?
Yes, we are.
Very good.
I got it. Copy, and then I'll throw it in the stream chat.
Nightkind, I'll get you the link.
It is very finicky to keep this thing right. So without going into studio mode every time, if I switch my tabs, it's going to stream that tab instead.
Oh, you know what it didn't do? I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to copy this one.
Thankfully, I can actually keep an eye on the stream while I'm in Streamlabs. Yay. So, Nightkind, how are we doing tonight?
We don't talk about
Is it a I'm Alive night or an I'm So Pretty night?
I'm just glad that I'm not drinking water out of a ditch.
Okay, fair.
That is very specific.
Yes. So thank you for asking. It's okay. So is this like where I have to do all the tabs over, or
No. This is Cards Against. Just
okay.
Once you get the link, click it. You'll be in the game. And our usual rule is when we get the black cards, we go ahead, read them out loud, and then we'll read all of our options just to see what makes us laugh the funniest when we hear it out loud.
Okay. Do we have an invite code? No.
It is in the
What am I
general
doing?
tab of the Discord.
I also copied and pasted it into the.
Yeah, I don't think it showed up because I see they use the second, but I don't see anything before that.
Oh, there's two. There's two of them I put in there. It shows for me.
Huh. Weird. It doesn't show on my Streamlabs for some reason.
I don't know.
Oh well.
See, it's going to happen again. And after the 2 days, I just might go crawl into bed.
And miss the chance to be a horrible person.
I know, right? Okay, so yet. I followed the link that I followed your link and then I followed the link that Rasklin gave me.
Okay.
And I'm joining voice. And then it went picture cards. And then I get a black and white screen that says join game. And then there's supposed to be an invite code. So do you guys have a code to give me?
We do. Let me grab that real quick. Invite code
Okay.
is BIMI. Bravo India Mike India.
Bimmy.
Okay. Yay.
Very good.
Okay, is that all of us?
I believe so.
Okay, so let's get this game started. Okay, so the black card is high school, a place for blank and blank. It's oddly apropos since we were talking about a high school and marching band in this stream.
Uh-oh. Did I not? Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
I think I did that right. Oh, for the love of the gods. Just somebody shoot me. Please.
Unfortunately, I don't have a rifle that will reach that distance.
All right. Fine. Okay.
Although gas could probably get there.
Okay, I think I did it.
I don't know, because it says we're still waiting on you.
Well,
You've got your 2 cards, right?
2 cards. Hang on, there's a in here. Okay.
There we go. Okay, so our choices. High school. A place for being single as fuck and barely legal horse porn. Someone was spying on my computer. A place for spooge and 100% organic certified cocaine that has to be Rask. A place for 2 badgers viciously fucking in a hockey bag and giving someone pink eye by farting bare ass onto their pillow to exact revenge. Place for propane and propane accessories and titty sprinkles. You managed to mix Hank Hill and Morgan Freeman, and yet you still lost to the horse porn.
Dang it.
God damn
Not
it.
too
How
bad.
did I know that was Rask?
Because you know me.
Because it said cocaine. All right, it is Gas's turn.
Okay. We lucked out. The cop who pulled us over didn't check, and we had blank in the trunk.
Oh, that's not.
I don't have any like great cards, but I think this one will do.
Yeah, I might have to change my cards.
Also, we can use image and gift cards. I never bother with it.
All right. We lucked out. The cop who pulled us over didn't check, and we had Captain Tight Pants in the trunk. We lucked out. The cop who pulled us over didn't check, and we had Hellacious Shit in the trunk. Okay. He didn't check, and we had a retarded Chinese newborn named Sum Ting Wong in the trunk. We had neo-Nazis and other fine people in the trunk. Well, I am basic as fuck when it comes to this stuff, and a good joke involving flatulence or anything thereabout usually gets me.
What? The
Now,
one
to
that
shit,
gas giant likes
Hellacious.
toilet humor?
I see Hellacious, and I think JR from the old wrestling back in the late 90s.
Oh, yes.
Hellacious shits! A two-fisted slobber shitter.
Okay, it is Chrissy's turn.
What's in my butt right now as we speak?
God damn, I love that I have this card and that it's you that's the czar.
Okay, I got one. This might be great. This might not be, but we're gonna play that out.
Okay, I don't even know who this is, but okay.
All right. So what is in my butt right now as we speak? Special gloves? Using the last guy's semen as lube? Zyklon B? And the musk of a big worm dick. Oh,
Oh, those
dear
are
Lord.
wow.
For those of you just tuning in, I would like to remind you that Chrissy is in fact a fucking furry.
What? Since when?
Dang
That-
it!
Fine, take your
Thought I
point.
had that one.
No, yeah, see, I had that card and I was like, yep, nope,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Chrissy.
Blank is what I love most about my body.
Oh, God.
No, I can read that and make it worse.
No.
Blank
No.
is
No,
what I
it's the fact
love
that
most about my body.
it's you, and I have so many choices. Except for this one, because that one doesn't count.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
No, okay.
I didn't have any. I don't think I had anything good this time.
No, you know what? Fuck it. I'll play it anyways, because as funny as the other one would be, no, I need to save it.
Grandmother's heart-shaped box is what I love most about my body. An actual elephant in the room is what I love most about my body. Nipples as long as crayons are what I love most about my body. Oxygen thieves are what I love most about my body. I'm sorry, I'm giving it to the nipples.
I know you
Yes.
would. I have seen this man's nipples.
It's true.
With Amazon Prime, I can even get blank delivered in 2 days.
I mean, I don't know if you can get it delivered. He'd probably be doing the delivery, but, you know, it works.
Well, we're going to find out, huh? Come on, Rasklin.
Thinking.
Don't think, just do.
I always just go with the first thing that comes to my mind.
Use your butt.
All right. I can
Oh,
even get.
Jesus.
What's up?
The choices.
Okay. I can even get hypersyphilis from Mars delivered in 2 days. Can even get Ann Coulter's far right leaning dildo. Sex that's so good you don't care about the herpes. A big, fat, hairy, homosexual man. All
Actually, with
right.
Amazon Prime, you can get that all bundled in 2 days.
Yes. Okay.
But you have to watch the third season of Good Omens. There is no third season? You forget what you ordered.
Right leaning, this is so good. Okay, I want this one.
Does it just lean to the right, or does it also hang to the right?
I think that's a good one. I don't know.
All right, hold on. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am blank.
Is this the worst possible choice? Yes. I'm still taking it.
Is it Gary
Change-
Glitter?
We'll see.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am a special little snowflake. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am watching TED Talks while waiting for porn to buffer.
Okay,
I am.
if you're waiting for the porn to buffer, how come the TED Talks aren't buffering?
Podcast.
Well, you know, you
All right.
downloaded the TED Talks.
Different channel.
All right.
I am shitting in the chocolate ice cream machine. I am crazy glue. No, I gotta get into this one. That's just Batman in a fucking nutshell.
I gave Crazy Glue and I was thinking something like, Condiment King found Batman's uniform.
Okay. There is something rather nostalgic about the smell of blank. Give me your worst.
I do not apologize to California. You deserve everything that gets to you.
Okay. There is something rather nostalgic about the smell of farmers who fuck goats. Something rather nostalgic about the smell of getting fired from the fertility clinic for biting a lemon, licking some salt, lining up 10 cops of semen, and drowning like a fucking champ. Something rather nostalgic about the acrid smell of a burning child, of an empty, neutered ball sack.
Did this happen in order?
I don't know. This one's a little harder. I have two that I'm going for. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, miny. I almost voted for the acrid smell of a burning child.
My ideal spouse is blank.
I have so many good choices.
I believe you mean so many bad choices.
But those are the good choices.
I mean, yes. The only really bad choice is the boring one.
Yeah. Never play the boring one.
Exactly.
Never try to be a good person when you play with us.
All right, my ideal spouse is donkey punching your high school crush. My ideal spouse is drowning in a vat of bear mace. My ideal spouse is the 80s Muslim rock group Quran Quran. That's good. My ideal spouse is a blind man walking into a bar, and then a table, and then a chair.
You have a very unlucky ideal spouse.
I'm going to go for him. I like that one.
Right.
Although Quran Quran was a close second.
I'm doing lots of close seconds here. I used to like blank, but that was before the accident.
I'm sorry, this one just came up, but I had to play it. It's perfect.
Of course.
Okay, I got a good one. I'm hoping this is for better later. Oh.
Okay. I pulled up new cards. My cards were so boring.
I used to like uncontrollably ejaculating, but that was before the accident. I used to like the one cheek sneak, but that was before the accident. I used to like non-stop helicoptering, but that was before the accident. I used to like a spiky torture device that makes a pretty good ball scratcher, but that was before the accident. I'm going to have... I'm down to 2. Gotta give it to this one. Uncontrollable or non-stop helicoptering.
Yeah, I
It
figured
just...
it was like,
Oh,
nah, the uncontrollable ejaculating, like that's just right on brand.
Gary Busey is thinking about blank right now.
Yeah, nope, this one's just perfect.
ooh. I feel bad, and I should, but okay.
Jesus Christ.
Gary Busey is thinking about eating the crusty stuff off your shower head. He is
To be
thinking
fair, I
about
think he licks it.
he is thinking about eating C4 because you want to go out with a bang. He's thinking about the taste of human flesh. Fucking a girl so hard her nose bleeds.
Because when you think Busey, you think teeth and then fucking.
All right, there's 2 here. Okay. Here. Hayden, come on. Give the rest of us a break there.
This is your pilot
All right.
speaking. Please prepare for blank.
Jeez.
There are no right
Pilot
answers.
speaking. Please prepare for a 10-hour loop of too many cooks. This is your pilot speaking. Please prepare for the noise of your balls slapping during anal sex. Please prepare for the muffled sound of children. Please prepare for the poop hole loophole. I mean, no, this one. Just because I want it to happen. Children must be able to fit in the overhead compartment.
Oh.
Okay. What is happening right now in North Korea?
Oh,
Sure.
oh, oh.
All right. What is happening right now in North Korean? Human werewolf syndrome. Hitting your child with a coat hanger, hoping it will make him go away. Eating all over a Furby's face. And hickory smoked duck vagina.
Do they have hickory in North Korea?
I don't know, but a couple of these were really good. But I just like the simplicity of a hickory smoked duck vagina. Even though I know that doesn't exist. But
To me, it was more complicated because it was a Dr. Tran reference, which is a Vietnam thing, granted.
yes.
All right. I don't know what will cause my second divorce, but my third divorce will be caused by blank. What is up with all my bad relationships? Well, I say that. I know the answer.
I have 2 that could have played great on this, but I chose the one I chose. And I'm not sorry.
And speaking of which, since we already did the other 3 introductions, Nykind, would you like to give us a quick rundown of yourself?
I'm a boring person who watches dogs in her house.
Perfect.
What else? I mean, what do you want?
That's okay. I'm a professional DJ. I'm a colorblind artist, and I'm a... Yeah, I already forgot Chrissy's.
Graphic designer and musician.
Yes, that.
All right, finally settled on one.
Okay. I don't know what will cause my second divorce, but my third divorce will be caused by the Virgin Mary screaming, "Oh God," while receiving his divine cream pie. There's a lot to unpack there. I don't know what will cause my second divorce, but my third divorce will be caused by sex. In your mouth. I don't know what will cause my second divorce, but my third divorce will be caused by having to transfer to a different diocese because apparently filling the youth group with the Holy Spirit isn't something that's up to interpretation.
Gee, I
Finally-
wish I could have played that one.
Finally, I don't know what will cause my second divorce, but my third divorce will be caused by an old man hiding in my closet.
This is just very Catholic.
It
everything
is!
very Catholic.
Yeah. Huh. Not gonna lie, they're all very well done. I had to go with this one.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was actually wrong.
Who'd you think played
It
that
just
one?
there was such of a build up that I just
I actually thought that was Rask's card.
Well, my turn.
Mhm.
Christmas was ruined for me when my Uncle Larry got me blank. Enter your lies now.
I knew that was going to pop up at some point.
Yes.
There.
If anyone is going to be Schmitty, sorry, not Schmitty.
No, I think that one was Schmitty.
Okay, I think maybe you're right.
Oh wait, no, it's from Fibbage. It's Cookie.
Okay. Christmas was ruined for me when my Uncle Larry got me getting a BJ from a ventriloquist dummy. Wow, it really is howdy doody time. Christmas was ruined for me when my Uncle Larry got me a hot diaper. Christmas was ruined for me when my Uncle Larry got me a stinky pinky. Christmas was ruined for me when my Uncle Larry got me Santa Claus stuffing the stockings of every good single mother.
Again, is this like in sequence?
We all knew where this was going. Oh, now.
Finally, yay!
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
Meanwhile,
you.
me and Gas sitting over here.
Experts agree the global financial crisis was caused by
I'm playing it, and I do not apologize.
This is not a card I should play, yet I am still playing it.
That's usually how this game goes.
Well, no,
Wait,
you see, it's a
reading
card
that
from an elf
entire
play.
comment thread that you were involved with recently last night, Rascalin. That was surreal.
Which one? The one over on Jim's page on Mutalio's?
No, the one over on FET.
Yeah, that one. That's the one on Mutalio's.
Yeah.
There were honest to the gods Nazis in there. I wound up getting blocked by what I can only call an extremist Israeli nationalist, and at the same time shooting down 2 Nazis.
I mean, I was just sitting here like, you're all just playing into what they want, right? Anyways, we are trampling over Nightkind's turn.
the global financial crisis was caused by a big orange tub of lard. Sounds familiar. Financial crisis was caused by spending trillions of dollars creating portal technology only to wind up using it for sex.
Okay, that's a worthwhile investment, in fairness.
Of course.
Okay. That weird old guy who still trades Pokemon cards. Whipping it out with force.
How are all 4 of them about Trump?
Woot! See, that's why I said this is not a joke I should play. If anyone else played it, it would make sense, but I don't touch Pokemon usually.
BuzzFeed posted a link. These teens from Seattle discovered blank. You'll never guess what happens next. Yes, we will, BuzzFeed. It's the same in every goddamn article.
I am going to hell for this one.
We should discuss
Like-
our comment prompt for tonight when we've got a moment. Let's see. BuzzFeed posted a link. These teens from Seattle discovered Kevin Bacon wearing nothing but cowboy boots. You'll never guess what happens next. Discovered a literal assload of thumbtacks. I mean, that's just Seattle, isn't it? Discovered the consequences of disappointing Robin Williams. Discovered deep-throating a cactus. Oh my god. Now I feel bad that Lily isn't here, because then we would have Washington representation to fight back against these.
That's not necessary.
Also, I just feel like I want to see Kevin Bacon just running around the woods with nothing but cowboy boots.
Well,
So
because
do
then
I.
you get to also see the bacon strip.
Stop. Stop.
Okay, here we go. Before I go, I checked the list. Rubber tubing, gas, saw, gloves, cups, razor wire, hatchet, blank, and my mitts.
Nah, I'm not even going to be remotely sexual with this one.
Oh dear. Okay.
Alrighty. Before I go, I checked the list. Rubber tubing, gas, saw, gloves, cuffs, razor wire, hatchet, throwing another piggy on the wood chipper, and my mitts. Gloves, cuffs, razor wire, hatchet, tarring and feathering, and my mitts. Hatchet, children covered in DNA evidence, and my mitts. Batman's voice, and my mitts. Ooh. Now, the problem here is which Batman's voice. Because if it's anyone other than Kevin Conroy, then we're going to have words here.
Adam
I mean,
West,
that
a good
checklist-
argument could be made for Adam West's voice in this scenario.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say,
true.
with this checklist, both Adam West, maybe Christian Bale, but definitely Robert Pattinson would all work.
No, not Robert Pattinson. No.
Ooh. You know, I was thinking of something completely different, and the closest thing,
We'll make a caveat.
yeah,
The Michael Keaton Batman would definitely have this list.
true. I'm gonna go with. There we go.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to have a way to throw him off the trail.
All right. What does James Bond like shaken, not stirred?
This could be taken two different ways, and I don't care which way you take it.
Oh dear.
I just didn't have a good choice for this one, so you know, I'm sorry in advance
I might have to change my hand again.
for the lack of terribleness and possible unfunniness.
Just unfunniness. These are boring.
Well, it's not that I have boring cards in general. It's just I didn't think I had any that really fit the prompt.
All right. What does James Bond like shaken, not stirred? Meat spin. Diet Coke. My fourth transplanted liver. And whatever the kids are into these days. I have to go with this one. Ah, Caden again!
It is an excellent answer.
Yeah,
You
Certainly better than what I
spin me
had.
right round, right,
Nah.
right.
Go, Caden. Go, Caden. Go, Caden. It's a good thing you guys aren't here watching me dance.
Rask, the moment you say it, I have the card for it.
Very good. What put an abrupt end to the funeral? All right, who's playing the gilf porn card?
Oh no, you'll know which one I played.
I think I already
I
played
know.
this.
I'm pretty confident in mine too.
At this point, it's the universe telling us we need to do this video.
See, I need new cards. I just totally need new cards.
Wait, someone got drunk sexting dad? I had drunk sexting mom.
What put an abrupt end to the funeral? Getting into a water fight with little kids, except they're using water guns and you're using a tea kettle full of boiling water. What put an abrupt end to the funeral? Snorting cocaine from a stripper's asshole. What put an abrupt end to the funeral? Getting a new baby off Craigslist. What put an abrupt end to the funeral? Accidentally drunk sexting dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm sorry, but my brain went with dad is the deceased in this case.
Okay.
Ah.
That
I
actually
did
puts
the
a whole other-
snorting cocaine because it's like it's just a sign we have to do the snow flame video.
Blank. Millions are dead.
Oh, should I go real for this one?
Well, you're going to win it anyway, darling.
No, not with this one. Oh Jesus.
Okay. Blank. A full-blown nuclear holocaust. Millions are dead. Michael, Sarah finally hitting puberty. Millions are dead. Saddam Hussein's chemical weapon campaign. A lumpy period. Oh shit. Okay.
That got dark and then funny and then dark.
Oh no, I have to.
I mean,
All
technically,
right.
yes.
Oh,
Apple just
okay.
announced that in the next iPhone update, they're replacing Siri with blank. Thank God that actually didn't cause mine to go off. Apple just
Sploosh.
announced that in the next iPhone update, they're replacing Siri with utter nonsense. They're replacing Siri with dating advice from Taylor Swift. They're replacing Siri with sploosh.
Sploosh.
They're replacing Siri with low expectations. I feel like we've already got 3 of those already.
Well, back to back.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
All right, guys. A butt plug, an oven mitt, and a blank.
I guess this might be realistic, so. Realistic and funny as fuck.
I feel like I'm cheating.
Alrighty. A butt plug, an oven mitt, and a good old fashioned skull fucking. A butt plug, an oven mitt, and a waterfall of period blood. A butt plug, an oven mitt, and something so offensive I don't even want to say it. a butt plug, an oven mitt, and a dildo so large it has no practical use.
Isn't that just Chrissy's Saturday night?
Hey.
Ooh. Okay. I like all of these. They all play to my sense of humor. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with go.
Yeah.
All right. After the success of the Doritos Locos flavored tacos, Taco Bell is excited to announce the release of its latest taco shell flavor.
I didn't even have to wait. I had it right in the chamber. Much like after eating Taco Bell.
Isn't what happens after Taco Bell called a Baja Blast?
Exactly.
I think the gods.
All right.
No.
After the success of the Doritos Locos flavored tacos, Taco Bell is excited to announce the release of its latest taco shell flavor. Just spitting on it. Kevin Bacon, Otto Fellatio, and Clean Sanchez. Oh, these are all good. I'm gonna have to go with this one.
Ooh, 2 wins with the Bacon Meister.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Sorry, I keep having people page me. I just got into this band recently. You've probably never heard of them. They're called Blank of Blank.
how appropriate.
Enter your lies now.
It's always funny when you get a music question because I'm just like, how obscure can we go?
Which genre?
That exactly. It's like I have the whole world of music to play with. Let's find something fun.
I just got into this band recently. You've probably never heard of them. They're called a hardcore triangle solo of pounding every Disney princess. They're called Mexican jumping beans of anal bleeding. They're called sneezing while wearing the diva cup and a skirt with no underwear of stealing your using your mom's sex toys. They're called believing she was 18 of being the caboose of a train.
I mean, 2 of
Damn
them
it,
made
that
sense.
works too well.
I literally had nothing that worked together like that. I
was
just
really
was like,
hoping
okay.
my hardcore triangle
Mex-
solo of pounding Disney princesses would work.
Mexican jumping beans and anal, like almost, but I was like at the same time, I think ideally it would have been one word answers, but yeah.
Oh, damn. Do I play the Night Kind's obscure sense of humor, or do I play the Night Kind's clean sense of humor?
Obscure. Just go obscure.
No, I'm gonna go for clean.
Chicken.
No, it's just this one. This one works better.
Okay. What was the last thing I Googled? How it feels to chew 5 gum. One topic of conversation. Vegan, quote unquote, food. Nothing else. Dick butt. Being majestic as fuck.
I feel like all of those are in your search history.
All right.
All right.
I took it upon myself to crack the vegan joke.
That's what I figured.
I mean, who better?
True.
McDonald's is bringing back the Monopoly sweepstakes, where customers can win blank or even blank. McDonald's is bringing back their Monopoly sweepstakes, where customers can win airline food or even all things that creepeth. Where customers can win receiving oral sex or even buy Curious George. A Canadian dildo made from an icicle or even a toddler smashed in a revolving door. A bottle of vodka and a rope or even Monopoly, aka Jumanji. No, I gotta go with this one.
By Curious George was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Eat, sleep, blank, repeat.
Oh dear. Oh shit. Okay.
Go for the blue.
Alrighty. Eat, sleep, bong water, repeat. Eat, sleep, accidentally sexting your parent, but they play along anyway, repeat. Eat, sleep, slapping a frail old Chinese man with a humongous salmon, repeat.
So it's a Monty Python episode.
Eat, sleep, force feeding Garfield to create a pussy full of lasagna, repeat. Ooh. Okay, something about the simplicity of bong water that really speaks to me.
What? A California being spoken to by bong water? Say it ain't so.
I'd say it really clears the air, but
But I'm also really into slapping an old frail Chinese man with a huge salmon.
Results are hazy.
It's really a toss up at this point, you know. You know what?
Maybe
You have
you
to
should
go
do
with
it.
it.
Thank you.
Good. Hey, you know. Hey, that's legal in my state, so you know.
I always carry blank in my purse.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the one I should have played for Night Kinds. The other thing she Googled.
You've been
All
looking
right.
on
I always carry the pink lifesaver in my mom's dresser in my purse. I always carry the classy kind of white supremacist in my purse. It's a classy kind? All right,
it's a colonial from the 17th century.
I see. I always carry Thai lady boys in my purse. And I always carry a limp banana in my purse.
There's a lot of room in that purse, man.
Yeah.
I don't like pink.
Who knows?
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay.
I like that one.
Okay, you were the classy, what was that, supremacist?
The classy white supremacist.
Remember, friends don't let friends try blank.
God damn it! My cards are trying to tell me something, and I'm going to be angry at them.
Friends don't let friends try Bernie Sanders' sexy tickles. Friends don't let friends try the modern, more nuanced brand of racism. Friends don't let friends try masturbating with 30 grit sandpaper. Friends don't let friends try Kaylee. Okay, we all knew this is coming.
Why
Yeah.
am I
Well,
getting
not
one
coming.
of
It is
those
really
cards?
good grit sandpaper.
Yeah.
There won't be anything left of the dick.
What got me thrown out of this Home Depot this time?
You know what it was? The cards heard me earlier when I said we are a strictly anti-Nazi channel.
Okay. 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 Uh, that's my new word for the night. Okay. What got me thrown out of Home Depot this time? My autistic obsession with Nazi warplanes. The 1999 do-it-yourself white trash wedding. Erotic balloon animals. A fist fight with a drag queen. Uh,
I'm trying to think of what 1999 would get you a white trash wedding in Home Depot.
It's a
Because
cupcake
Vivos
instead
cost
of
at least
cake.
40. What'd you say?
you can get one of those little hair barb thingies that you stick down the sink and it collects all the hair. Gross.
Is there anything better than sex, you say? Yes. Blank. How many people just had Vine go through their head?
I cannot claim that.
No.
Thank you, Bo Burnham. Is there anything better than pussy? Yes. A really good book. Is there anything better than sex, you say? Yes. Sleeping with your best friend's wife. Yes. The Hitachi magic wand. Yes. Lego Ninjago. Yes. Netflix and chloroform. I gotta give it to the post where it says, if you're a man and you've lost to a woman with a Hitachi magic wand and a cat, just remember that you just lost to a piece of plastic and a creature that shits in a box.
All right. In Canada, blank comes in bags.
Damn. Damn. Of course, all y'all have better cards than I do, so you guys have some amazing
I'm
cards.
throwing this one.
I think we're all at that point right now.
All right. In Canada, orphan meat comes in bags. In Canada, the hunchback kid your parents invited to your birthday party comes in bags. The good book comes in bags. 15 wild badgers living in my trousers comes in bags. Well, geez.
It's a good thing we don't have gamers on this channel.
I was going to say the 15 wild badgers living in trousers would come in trousers. How are they
Yeah,
going to hit a bag from in there?
No, they come in the bag. You put them in the trousers.
Yeah.
I don't think we're understanding the cycle of cum, pants, and trousers and bags.
They're Canadian. They do everything weird.
It's true. They're very baggy trousers.
I'm going to go with the Canadian national saying, it's not a war crime the first time.
That explains why the Red Green show lasted so long.
Oh dear, I can never have too much of blank.
I have to. Whenever the most horrifying answer comes up, I have to play it.
You have competition, my friend.
I can never have too much of a 4 with a 10 ass. I can never have too much of Chris Farley being sodomized by a Wookiee.
In a van down by the river.
Yes.
I can never have too much of that patch of blue sky through the window behind the large German man plunging my hand. It lulled me into a false sense of security there. And I can never have too much of carefully placing a toothpick under each toenail and kicking the wall.
Oh, don't even. Now my. Oh, cringe. Now my. Oh.
I already got a toenail scraped off on pavement. I'm immune to this mental image.
Oh, God. Oh.
This
I'm
one threw
on
me for
Cade's
such a
side.
loop.
He's like, ha, I can ignore my feet.
Ooh, okay.
You know what? It's Rask. I already know which one I need to play.
Yeah, you do. I struggled to get out of bed this morning until I heard blank knocking at my door. I struggled to get out of bed this morning until I heard the periodic table of elements, except all the little squares are replaced with dog porn, knocking at my door. I struggled to get out of bed this morning until I heard dick tits knocking at my door. I struggled to get out of bed this morning until I heard an English bulldog in a leopard print thong knocking at my door. I struggled to get out of bed this morning until I heard Fred Durst knocking at my door. Wow, I'm staying in bed for that last one.
And apparently you're
I'm
staying in
sorry.
bed for
The
one
winner
of them.
is quite clearly dick tits.
Oh!
Oh yeah, we put up the other announcer test if you want to give that one a go too.
I'll give it a go once we're done with the cards.
This is a good question.
Ooh.
Oh, Nightkind, I'm so sorry, but I have to play this card.
Yay!
Oh, Argos, right. Watch as Argos passes me.
Oh shit, I didn't even realize Argos had joined.
All right, people have started eating blank because it's organic and gluten-free. Who put my famous anus? A tumbleweed of pubes. Ugh, what? Asparagus urine. The angry ghosts of overused sex toys.
Well, that's a Thin Blue Line comic right there.
The
In
angry
fact,
ghost.
they literally did that plot line.
The angry ghost of overused sex toys.
Yeah, I'll have to link it to you sometime.
Oh, sometime, yeah. People are eating Ron Jeremy's foreskin, which is still bigger than my dick. Oh, for the love of the gods. Okay, ew.
There are no right answers. Simply resign yourself to misery.
Yeah. Okay, here.
I played your famous anus.
Oh God, he really is going to. No.
I almost picked that one too.
What is the one thing the opposite sex is good for? This could sound misogynist, except no one knows what gender I actually am.
Okay, here. Okay.
What's the one thing the opposite sex is good for? A penis only a mother could love. Sucking an eyeball out of its socket. Being able to tell with absolute certainty the actual size of any penis just by sitting on it. Cock slapping her so hard she falls over. A cunning linguist. Yeah, we're just gonna go with this one.
I had to. No one's surprised, but I had to.
Okay. All right. Tonight, the president will reveal his stance on blank.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you all a mental image and you're gonna scream.
Tonight, the president will reveal his stance on.
But we know you already.
Yeah, you know me, but that doesn't mean you want this image in your head. Good choices.
So, tonight the president will reveal his stance on men's rights activism. Gordon Ramsay's fucking cream of fucking tomato soup is fucking delicious. Saturday morning cartoons, double-ended anal beads, and conducting business on the toilet. Wow. Okay, there we go. My doorbell rang, and I have food to go pick up in just a second. So I'm going to play my card, and then I will be right back.
Captain Hook has a real problem with blank.
Nah, I gotta play this one.
All right. Captain Hook has a real problem with rubbing Oprah's belly until it falls asleep. Captain Hook has a real problem with being the prettiest girl at the truck stop. Captain Hook has a real problem with pretending to be crippled for sympathy.
Okay, that's the Fox Peter Pan Captain Hook right there.
Wow. Captain Hook has a real problem with 4 naked old men in a sauna.
He is all of them.
And Captain Hook has a real problem with being more fucked than a gay chicken at Chick-fil-A. I'm going to have to go for this one.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
All right. Go, Caden.
It's neck and neck.
I shall read for the Argos. China has been attempting to slow its population growth by utilizing blank. It wrote itself.
Oh my gosh. Slow its population by.
You know, someone should actually try to use one of the image cards, see if they work anymore.
Ooh, yeah.
God, that might take too long. Of course, we have how many seconds?
You got 2 minutes
63
per round.
If I'm crunching in people's ears, I'm sorry. Caden, I told you I got my mic. Obviously, I got my mic fixed.
Yes.
It was the cord to the mic to the computer.
China has been attempting to slow its population growth by utilizing that slightly overweight shite girl with the black boyfriend, by utilizing putting the sin in pediatric medicine, by utilizing a nasty butt slut, by utilizing Burmese kids playing soccer in a minefield, by utilizing Justin Bieber's favorite burger joint.
I hate the implications for all of these, and that's why they work. Everything here is gold. Thank you.
Oh, very good.
I will maybe catch up one day. In a surprising new twist, the next James Bond film will feature Bond's relationship with blank instead of a gorgeous woman. Enter your horrible ideas now. Okay, I want James Bond and Dr. Tran crossover. I fucking said it. In a surprising new twist, the next James Bond film will feature Bond's relationship with the Picard maneuver instead of a gorgeous woman. In a surprising new twist, the next James Bond film will feature Bond's relationship with Asian NBA players instead of a gorgeous woman. There could be some gorgeous women in there. In a surprising new twist, the next James Bond film will feature Bond's relationship with this breakfast sausage with serious emotional problems instead of a gorgeous woman. A pet turtle instead of a gorgeous woman. Never being able to unsee two girls, one cup instead of a gorgeous woman. I have to go with the breakfast sausage.
There we go.
It's clearly going to make him gassy. And that leads to the emotional trauma.
So, I guess I told Caden everything about the computer and the cord.
Yes.
Okay, my mind. I'm sorry. I'm just. Oh, me. Blank. God damn it, Japan.
It's just hilarious. It's not offensive. It's just hilarious.
Fuck.
Japan. God damn it, Japan. Homeopathic remedies. I'm off my meds, so I may be a bit weird. Come on, guys. You might as well at me if you're going to do that. Arranging sleeping children into suggestive positions. God damn it, Japan. Excuse me. Your inner voices are assholes.
I mean, everything here could be a great non sequitur except for Japan.
No, like that one works if you're Japanese.
I mean, yeah, but that's why the others are the non sequiturs.
Okay, I have to do that. Really fits me right now. Or
You
maybe
can
just
slap me later. No promising I won't enjoy it.
Oh god damn it, I can only imagine what you guys are gonna play. If I were invisible, then nobody would be able to stop me from blank.
oh, by the grace of the gods. Oh,
I'm going to hell for this one.
We're already in hell.
Okay, I'm going to super hell.
We're already in super hell. What's next?
I
VIP
share it with
round?
JD Vance.
If I were invisible, then nobody would be able to stop me from accidentally sexting my mom. I mean, they'd still have the evidence. If I were invisible, then nobody would be able to stop me from pranking your blind roommate by leaving the plunger in the toilet. Why do you have to be invisible for that? They're blind.
Yeah.
If I were invisible, then nobody would be able to stop me from finger painting with your mom's period blood. Okay, Reagan McNeil. If I were invisible, then nobody would be able to stop me from tapping that ass. Nobody can stop me from that anyways. Nobody would be able to stop me from the reptilian gaze of Mark Zuckerberg. Why do I feel like Zuckerberg could actually see you if you were invisible?
Only if you're moving.
No, he sees in thermal.
Yeah, but he still depends on motion.
He's like a shittier predator.
Yeah.
On the internet, no one knows I'm blank.
I had to. It's perfect card for you. Also, I love the fact that you said Argos was going to suddenly come up from behind. He's still 5 points behind you.
Give him
All
time.
right. On the internet, no one knows that I'm honey bunches of goats holding in a fart in a crowded airplane. Mike Tyson's toughest opponent ever, the letter S. Sniffing
Yours, the letter
scented
T.
markers for a quick fix. I'm Robin Williams. Ooh, okay. There's two of these that are definite winners. I wish I could pick them both, but sadly, I can't.
Baby girl, you have inherited.
So, ooh, which one do I pick? Such a difficult decision.
And I can get past that.
What
Okay.
would Carlos do?
And one day you are going to
I could see Carlos doing Robin Williams. I could see sketch comedy being written about it afterwards.
And I could also see Carlos holding a fart on a crowded airplane, but you know.
No, he wouldn't hold
While
it.
Robin Williams is inside him, no less. Go on.
All right. When you're hammered AF and think blank is a good idea.
I'm just gonna say, not that anybody here except you is gonna get this. Well, and Argos. This sounds like an idea we'd toss around in Haven.
All right, let's see. When you're hammered AF and think having sex on tap, all thanks to your wife's dementia, is a good idea. When you're hammered AF and think your life expectancy dropping to next week is a good idea. When you're hammered AF and think shig mittens, pair of gloves you wear when you take a dump, is a good idea. When you're hammered AF and think a room where the roof is covered in tiny dildos that descend upon you if you clap, it's a good idea. And when you're hammered AF and think double vaginal, double anal is a good idea.
Never mind, this all sounds like shit we've said in Haven.
I'm just trying to
God.
picture someone having 4 dicks in a row right there at the end.
Aiden, it sounds like I need to play this game. Hayden, or what name was it?
Oh, Haven? Haven is a Telegram group that I run.
Oh, okay.
We're a bunch of degenerate fur fuckers. The last thing you will see before you die. Blank.
Jeep brand has always stood for American freedom. With our freedom of choice pricing program, visit your local dealer. Cash incentives or employee pricing for all.
There is nothing good about what I put in.
The last thing you will see before you die. Llamas. The great black wolf Fenrir, eater of Odin and harbinger of Ragnarok. A rapist mime doing unspeakable things to you. And Frank's secret diary, My Penthouse Pets. A large group of consenting adults.
Starting a business is hard. You have to stay connected at all times.
As we've been growing the studio,
As an adult?
has been there every step of the way.
Huh.
Always able to make the phone call ready and able to shoot that text message or that
Yay.
Yay.
When the stripper bent over and placed my nose squarely between her cheeks, it smelled like cotton candy and blank. Enter your failures of human decency now.
Too late. Shit, I had 2 that were good, but I had to go with the one I played.
There'll be time for us all to regret your actions later. When the stripper bent over and placed my nose squarely between her cheeks, it smelled like cotton candy and a near-fatal pumpkin spice overdose. It smelled like cotton candy and some kind of infestation. It smelled like cotton candy and medic! It smelled like cotton candy and a bulldozer pushing corpses. It smelled like cotton candy and a brain that's lacking but an ass that's packing. Damn! All right, I'm down to 2. Hold on. Yep.
Okay.
Bulldozer was my next choice.
In his latest Rambo movie, Sylvester Stallone proved that he was too old for fill in the blank. He was too old for having to collect, quote unquote, bull sperm for a living. He was too old for RuPaul's Drag Race. He was too old for crossing swords. and he was too old for the green apple splatters, but how can you be too old for Fat Life? Eventually,
Who knows?
Some of the people
Too
on there.
I had to deal with a Nazi 20 years older than me, and that's not an exaggeration. So,
No, I saw that conversation. Like,
Yeah.
the entire time I was just scrolling down, I was like, if y'all just shut up, you'd go away.
I finally blocked two of them, and one of them blocked me.
The greatest cosplay ever. Blank.
I don't cosplay, but let's do this.
The greatest cosplay ever. Being friends with Paul McCartney and naming yourself the Fifth Beatle. Amateur acupuncture. Wearing jeans so you don't have to shave. Creamy soy boy lattes. The Twilight vampires ejaculating glitter. Nope. I was like, I already know how I'd rig it, and I know exactly who I'd get to go run with me.
Does that mean the werewolf humps the vampires?
All right. I caught my grandpa with dementia trying to force feed grandma blank.
I might have to change my hand of cards. It's been the last 2 days. People feel sorry for me.
Oh,
I'll get you.
Jesus.
Okay. I caught my grandpa with dementia, tried to force feed my grandma a ginger pubic mane that looks like a pumpkin explosion, a jar of toenail clippings, another Saturday night alone, a jar of peanut butter, and my dog. A half-heated blowjob, okay? And
Is it supposed to
Iranian
be half
suicide
dirty?
drones. Okay.
See,
Well,
all y'all have really good cards.
How exactly do you
they-
force feed someone a night alone?
Yeah, I know.
It comes in journey form.
I know.
All right, my anaconda don't want none unless you got blank, hon.
I'm not going to hell. I'm not going to super hell. I'm not going to JD Vance. I am going below.
There, I'm gonna dump my
Fuck,
entire.
I am disappointed with myself as a human being.
Oh, what am I doing? Okay.
All righty. My anaconda don't want none unless you got the magic trick guy. We all know the one. My anaconda don't want none unless you got autoerotic asphyxiation, hon. My anaconda don't want none unless you got a face full of Auschwitz chimneys.
Okay, damn. Just damn.
Oh no. Alright. My anaconda don't want none unless you got a mouth so sensitive it can feel the sperm wiggling. Oh god. My anaconda don't want none unless you got the gentle caress of Uncle Scrotum in your ear.
Oh, my cheeks hurt from laughing, you guys.
Oh god.
There is none here.
man, mine feels pretty tame compared to some of these.
I am going to go with this one.
Oh, thank God I didn't win.
Oh, there we go. Maybe being tame was good this round.
Never gonna give blank up. I'm not singing that again, so don't bother.
That's fine.
I once sang it to a customer at Gumby's because they asked me to sing Call Me Maybe. And I said, I don't know the lyrics, but I'll sing you the next worst thing.
Never gonna give Jack hammering her sweet spot up. Never gonna give buying kink supplies at Hobby Lobby up. Never gonna give yaks with ball gags up. Never gonna give harvesting the organs of the homeless up. Never gonna give Dr. Faggot up.
They sell sex toys at Walmart. True story.
I mean, everything's a sex toy if you're creative enough.
I mean,
This
they've
is
got
true.
gerbils in the pet section, right? There you go.
I get mine
Yeah.
from Tractor Supply.
Blank is many things to many people, as you will see and learn. I don't even need a tagline. A sudden muscle spasm that forces all of your organs to shoot out of your ass is many things to many people, as you will see and learn and personally experience over there in the shallow end of the pool. The feeling of being utterly worthless is many things to many people, as you will see and learn, but not that many people because you're feeling utterly worthless after all. Just to see how it feels is many things to many people, as you will see and learn, but not feel. This is a textbook only class. Male ballerina padding is many things to many people, as you will see and learn. Funny, it comes from the same place that does graduation gowns. Reluctant anal is many things to many people, as you will see and learn. It's primarily something to the two guys we got in your ass at once. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to tag every last one of those because I did. Yeah, I gotta give it to this one.
Go gadget. Blank. I don't have to read that right off, do I?
No, a lot of us do.
Okay.
So now I've got the image and I've got Don Adams' voice in my head, though.
Go gadget. The God particle. Go gadget. Biggest cum shot ever.
Oh no, Uncle Gadget!
Yes.
Don't remind
Not
me
on
that
my
I wrote fucking porno about Penny Gadget.
Go gadget debt collectors.
You haven't
Like a-
seen Penny Goes Insane.
Go gadget officially no longer gives a shit. And the fullest extent of the law.
That one does not come out of his head.
And despite
Well,
what most
it comes
people
out of a
think,
different
it
head.
is not his arm either.
Hi-oh!
One of them is like, yeah, I don't fucking care anymore. But this one is funny.
Especially if you actually hear it in the classic Gadget voice.
The seaman will self-destruct.
Blink was so good, and I moaned so loud, wolves in our Antarctica howled back. Me and Gas are just like going for each other's throats, man.
Peace was never an option.
Oh, it's an option. It's just not ours. 101 Erections, a New York Times best-selling pop-up book, was so good, and I moaned so loud, wolves in Antarctica howled back. Sucking 12 raw oysters from your grandma's vagina, that's a hell of an insult, isn't it? 10,000 volts straight to the prostate. Boning the maid of honor. Duck porn. We all know that we have to go for this one.
Oh. Ooh. We're going to have a three-way here in a second. All right. I always keep blank in my car.
Oh,
I've had a card I've wanted to play for a while, and I've been holding on to it this whole game. I just haven't had the right one to play yet.
Same. But I can't believe I just played this one.
Did I miss my turn?
No, you're good.
Okay, I had to let the dogs in. Okay.
You got 74 seconds.
Okay. Let me just meet my. Okay.
All right. I always keep NyQuil on the rocks in my car. I always keep black guys that are just asking to be shot by police in my car. I always keep masturbating to a friend and feeling guilty about it afterwards in my car. I always keep a 3.5-pound shit baby in my car. I always keep massages from people who are way less attractive than you in my car. Ooh.
Knock it off.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with this just because it's so absurd.
Oh, thank God. We're getting to the point of the night. I'm getting cards. I was like, please don't let me win.
All right, my therapist has uncovered repressed memories of blank from my early childhood.
Oh, what a great one. This one just works. This is I got the Todd Howard of cards. It just works.
Well, I'd normally say that is Dick Butt, but Dick Butt already lost once this game.
All right, my therapist has uncovered repressed memories of doggy style with a real doggy from my early childhood. My therapist has uncovered repressed memories of pooping in a relay race from my early childhood. My therapist has uncovered repressed memories of your first grade teacher hogtied and drooling from my early childhood. My therapist has uncovered repressed memories of children who are accidentally locked inside refrigerators from my early childhood. And my therapist has uncovered repressed memories of an unnecessary second circumcision where the doctor just cuts more skin off the head of the penis from my early childhood. Y'all came out swinging. Jeez. But I'm going to go for this one.
Not the one I thought you'd pick.
They actually do that when they're running the Western States 100. It's 100 mile, and yep, they're shitting their shorts.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I peeled the banana like I always did, but this time I found blank inside of it.
This one, I don't think this one fits. I just thought it was funny.
Stop it. Sorry, I'm yelling at my dog.
Sounds like he's yelling back.
He wants to fight with the I found a. That's not really going to fit, but here.
I peeled the banana like I always did, but this time I found a dick that tastes like shit inside it. I peeled the banana like I always did, but this time I found a sad panda inside it. This time I found a lost Shakespearean play inside it. This time I found a greasy pork sandwich served on a dirty ashtray inside it. This time I found Paula Deen covered in butter shouting the N-word inside it. There's some weird fucking bananas.
Oh yeah, there are some weird bananas.
I feel like you get the Paula Deen one. That's the one you just like put down the garbage disposal.
Yeah, don't even bother.
Yep.
Don't bother eating it. Oh, no, I already, okay. I heard.
I didn't care if I won. I just wanted to play that card.
911, what's your emergency?
I finally get to play this card.
Enter your jailable responses now.
I'm going to warn you right now, you're going to have to scroll down my card and you have to have the right energy for it.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my, sorry.
Actually, you know what? Let me do this one instead.
Why do we apologize for the cards we pick?
Because we want to feel like we're sorry for them.
911, what's your emergency? Giving your son hand jobs because your biggest fear as a dad is raising a homophobe. Fucking hell. There's someone probably doing that. 911, what's your emergency? OK Cupid suggesting not one, not two, but 3 different X's.
At that point, someone is trying to kill you.
Vegan dog food. Okay, I say this is a vegan. I will personally hunt anyone who pulls that shit down. Ham night. Okay, even as a vegan, I don't care. 911, what's your emergency? Having a long history of mental illness, being known for violence, and still qualifying to buy a gun because this is America. All right, I'm picturing different late night show hosts answering the 911 operator with each of these.
I just can't help but hear Childish Gambino on that last one.
Yeah. I mean, this is America. This is America.
No, it's Murica.
Thank you.
America.
America.
Murica.
You got to get that Atlanta accent.
You also just can't pronounce the A at the beginning. It's Murica.
Okay, I had to just because, yeah, been there.
I mean, mine was a bit on the nose, I'll admit.
Blank. The reward outweighs the risk. Guess I'm just for my own edification. Telling 9/11 jokes to the families of 9/11 victims.
This is why we apologize constantly.
Yeah. Painting a house with only a potato gun and a bucket full of gerbils is the reward, but outweighs the risk. Blaming Whitey. The chunky blue water in an airplane toilet. And the secretly stirring someone's beverage with your boner. The reward outweighs the risk.
I'm hoping it's stirred, not shaken, because damn.
Let's hope it's not roofied.
If that happened, I've got even more questions.
Just got a little richer to it.
Oh.
What's this drink called? The Tutti Frutti, you say? Why is that?
Actually, I need to get a picture of Little Richard to add to my collection of dick pics.
Well, balop babu bum balop bamboo. Ugh.
Okay, just because I used to be a house painter. Caden, get some, get some.
Knock
Go,
knock.
go.
Who's there? Blank. One more and I win. Knock knock. Who's there? Everyone shut up. I have an erection. Knock knock. Who's there? Meat spin. Knock knock. Who's there? Suicide photo bombers. Knock knock. Who's there? The Fox News team. Fuck you. Get off my property. Knock knock. Who's there? One smooth motherfucker. No, yeah, I'd probably actually answer you like that.
That score is tied 14-14. But will WoW
All right.
come out on top?
All right. There's a new burlesque show in town featuring 2 women, a clawfoot bathtub, and blank.
If this were anyone else, I'd play this. Yeah, no. As much as I want to play Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, I'm not.
All right. There's a new burlesque show in the town featuring 2 women, a clawfoot bathtub, and Queen Elsa, an antique merkin. Oh, reading in the bathroom. A bit of the old slap and tickle, and a 1,000-man bukkake maelstrom.
Damn, son. Damn.
A bukkake maelstrom is a close second, but unfortunately it loses to an antique merkin.
I'd take a bow, but I already know that everyone's primed and ready.
All right. When the going gets tough, the tough gets blank.
This is one of the few times that I'm just going to outright say, fuck the vegan.
Let's see.
Oh, damn, damn, damn. Okay. Just because.
When the going gets tough, the tough gets bacon that can feel pain.
Thought that was a pig, but okay.
When the going gets tough, the tough get 30 pieces of silver.
And a kiss.
When the going gets tough, the tough get celebrating an Ethiopian child's birthday by putting flowers on his grave. Oh, no. When the going gets tough, the tough get a heavy dribble of pre-cum. And when the going gets tough, the tough get Donald Trump's third nipple. God, but I have to go for this one.
God damn it. Okay. Well, I played it. I've been holding on to that all game. I wanted to play that.
Fridays this fall, CSI blank. I like this card just because I don't know what it means.
I hate everything about my card.
Fridays this fall, CSI dropping the soap. CSI busting real quick. CSI Sparkadelica. CSI hunting humans for sport. CSI, a forum of emo teens who think they're vampire cats.
I have a movie about hunting humans for sport.
Is it the John Leguizamo one?
No, it's Rutger Hauer, Ice-T, Gary Busey.
Damn it. I really wanted Sparkadelica to win, just because I don't know what the fuck Sparkadelica is.
My partner uses blank to mark their territory.
This is a
Enter your
dangerous card
sex
to
now.
enter.
Hmm?
But I'm going to use this. It gets weird when you know someone's partner.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
My partner uses masturbating in a Batgirl costume to mark their territory. My partner uses the glory of Satan to mark their territory. My
Fail.
partner uses getting hot dogged by a mall Santa to mark their territory. My partner uses Mentos and cocaine to mark their territory. My partner uses flamboyant German porn stars to mark their territory. Fucking hell! Alright. Okay.
How did I know you were going to go for the cocaine one?
That would just it's perfect.
Because Snowflame told me to.
Oh, shit. No, yeah, it's Nikon. She likes this kind of humor. It's just Dada-esque.
Shall we play the theme song to oh, what is that game? Wheel of Fortune? Oh, no.
Jeopardy?
Beauty and the Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. Beauty and the Blank is my favorite Disney movie. Beauty and the Swinging Your Big Dick Around. Beauty and the My Windowless White Van is my favorite Disney movie. It better have candy written on the side. Beauty and the North Korean Space Program. Beauty and the Piles and Piles of Baby Teeth. They have to be in jars, though. No, if they're piles and piles.
Could be a
Beauty
golem
and-
made out of the teeth. I don't know.
It's just the babies.
Yeah. Baby twofers. Beauty and the Gravity is my favorite Disney movie. Beauty and the
Damn.
I went there, but it was difficult to floss afterwards.
What caused the gangbang to get off to a slow start? Oh, fuck, it's a three-way tie.
Yep. Are there better cards? Yes. But I'm still playing this one.
Are there better cards? Maybe. Are there cards that are going to make me laugh as much? What caused the gangbang to get off to a slow start? Breastfeeding the baby during cunnilingus. Scooby and the gang trying to solve the mystery of who got Daphne pregnant. We all knew it was Scooby. Having nipples so wide that they start to become one, like a unibrow. My butt plug is stuck, send help. Finding a tick on your dick and making it explode with the power of your boner. That's a hell of a party trick, I ain't gonna lie.
It's a new Viagra brand.
I mean, like, I feel like you need the skill to do this, but at the same time, I understand you might not want to do that. No one wants shaken baby syndrome.
Unless they're the baby.
991, what's your emergency?
Didn't we do this one already?
I think so.
Well, I'm doing this one.
All right. 991, what's your emergency? Sodomon needs the corpse of Ben Franklin.
Hey, he consented.
Getting your dick wet. White people going full retarded whenever YMCA plays. Doom! Carlos Chang's the fine Italian cuisine. Okay. 2 here. 2 here, and I'm not sure which one's going to go. But you know what?
I feel like all of us just kind of lost it when we got the.
Okay. I really like Doom, but
It's going to be a 4-way tie at this rate.
I mean, to be fair, I don't have the mask, so it didn't sound right. I didn't have the metallic sound.
Well, the hills are alive with the sound of blank.
Chrissy, I do not apologize.
That's okay.
Oh man.
I know
Nor
this is
do I
probably not.
apologize to Argos for making him hear this.
I know what I played probably isn't going to win, but still, it was funny.
The hills are alive with the sound of the Middle East. The hills are alive with the sound of feeling that bulgy-wulgy growing in your hands. Oh, Lord. The hills are alive with the sound of dinosaur humping car porn. The hills are alive with the sound of killing babies with a flamethrower. No. And the hills are alive with the sound of demon butlers.
Damn it, that's actually not a bad series.
A butler who can't do this isn't worth his salt.
I'm going to go with this.
Yay!
We're all just standing here, knives at each other's throats. Yes, it is I, the world's most dangerous supervillain, Baron Von Blank. Why didn't I save Doom for this?
For that one? Because then that was...
Because then Doom would have, like, shown up and hit me.
Here we go.
You damn
I mean,
copyright.
depends if you have the appropriate gravitas.
Yes, it is I, the world's most dangerous supervillain, Baron Von Cheeto Dust Fingers, Baron Von Kitten Mittens, Baron Von Fucking Them Senseless, Baron Von Lord Xenu, Baron Von the American Government. I'm a little too good at switching inflections that fast. Ugh. And I win with
Caden
fucking them
wins.
senseless.
Caden, yay!
Of course I would win with fucking them senseless. It almost makes too much sense. All right, let's see if we can get these tongue twisters out of the way. So we found 2, so I'm actually going to let you take your pick. Because I already ran through the first one.
I'm going to grab some food from the kitchen real quick.
Have at.
Very good. Also, the olive seems to want out. Be right back.
Hello,
I'm gonna
Olive.
go. I'm gonna go turn my bed on.
Right.
Well, I unfortunately have to get myself ready for work in the morning.
Yeah, we are running kind of late tonight. We don't normally run this late.
Well, I'm
Yeah, I
on
have
spring
to-
break right now, so I have absolutely nothing to do and nowhere to go tomorrow.
Oh my god,
So
we actually broke 3 hours.
Wow.
3.5.
Wow.
not bad.
Shit. We must be having fun tonight.
Hell yeah.
I do have to get up at,
Oof.
yeah. I hate this dog. All right, BRB.
Alrighty. And with that, I have to hop off and make sure I am all set up and ready for tomorrow. So, thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, anytime you want to come on, we will definitely accept you. Just not every other Tuesday because we're playing Leverage.
Ah, okay, that's totally fine.
Of course, that ends mid-May, I think. So after that,
Yeah,
we're
because
gonna
we've
have to
only
come
got,
up with-
because I think we've only got what 2 or 3 more quote unquote episodes left of that.
Yeah, because like I said, she wanted to stop it like beginning of May, mid-May. So
Yeah, so we're doing a 6-episode run on that.
yeah, so like we've got next week, and then maybe the 6th. So hey.
All right, that's awesome. So I will definitely be around, and I will definitely let y'all know when I am free beforehand, so I can hop in.
Yeah, and we will just have to come up with a shit ton more topics.
Oh, we'll figure something out, I'm sure.
I mean, we went. Keep in mind, we did go with one game of basically Cards Against Humanity and a bunch of jabberjaw on no particular topic. We still managed to fill like about 3.5 hours. So I'm sure whatever topic gets brought up in the future will be no problem filling that time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And with that said, I will bid you all a very good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right. Nice meeting you.
Thanks for playing.
Oh.
So what's this tongue twister game?
Oh, it's an old NBC announcers test, which you had to
Oh.
prove that you could before they
Uh-huh.
would accept that you could get the job.
Okay.
You know what? I really hope. Have I actually been? Oh my god! Have I been muted this entire time?
No,
What? No, you've been.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
No, you.
that would be very weird.
Well, no, because like when I was watching the stream earlier, it wasn't picking up the lav mic; it was reading on the Kraken. But now that I'm on game night, the Kraken's not moving.
Oh.
So I don't know if they've been able to hear me on the stream this entire time. Oh, hey. Well, let's see. Someone was just talking or texting asking if I ever lose the game. But yeah, so the NBC announcers test is basically you had to be able to pass this to prove that you could, so that you can prove that you were worthy of being on the air.
There's a woman on TikTok that does that. And she does a lot of voiceovers. She was actually in a couple commercials. And I did see her do that. And I was like, holy crap. She nailed it.
We also found another one, and that one is okay, so yes, apparently the mic is working. It's just for some reason not showing up on the monitor. The second one is apparently from WFNT, and that one is they just wanted to be a bitch, so they throw everything at you. Oh no, the dead air. It has come.
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer.
That used to really bug me. That's a reason I don't like to stream solo, is because either I ramble and I lose the plot, or I just don't talk.
Yeah. I just don't think I would have any fun streaming solo.
Well, that's it. I do better in a group, so, I might make standalone videos. I am trying to make standalone videos. I need to reshoot episode 2 of Backtracking again, because I keep rambling on it instead of doing it proper. But yeah, like, just live streaming, I have no idea how the hell I would keep the energy up.
But no, it's just, to me, like, for me, it's not that. For me, it's just, like, doing it solo, like either live streaming solo or being like a VTuber solo or doing anything like that, just doesn't appeal to me. Right?
Yeah.
Being a part of a group and interacting with people, which consequently is why there's a bunch of video games that I've started playing and never finished, because at no point was I ever actually into that game enough to be into it to play it on my own, but I was playing it simply because I had friends that were playing it.
You're reminding me of a very weird story.
Oh?
It's along those veins. Okay. So a game I used to play the shit out of as a kid was Dragon Strike. It was by SSI. It was a dragon simulator. You were a knight on horseback during the Dragonlance War of the Lance to fly into and ram other dragons with your lance while also using your breath weapon. It's actually not a bad game, but I kept trying to beat it for years and I couldn't. Then one day I come back to it. I think I'm like 16, 17. I just sit down and play it and I beat the whole damn thing. I'm like, what the hell? I had to not play for years to beat the game? Really?
I actually, I had a game that I was also kind of into for a while called Dragon Strike. But it was it was like D&D, but kind of watered down, and it came with a couple double-sided boards, a whole shit ton of miniatures. I mean, just the sheer amount of miniatures you got with this thing was
enough. Large box set, right?
Yeah, and it came with this really cheesy
VHS tape.
VHS tape that the guy who plays the warrior used to be one of the American Gladiators.
I never bought that box set, but you know what I did buy?
Huh.
The comic book tie-in.
Okay. No, but like I was saying, it came with so many miniatures. They were plastic, mind you, but there were so many miniatures in that it was worth it, even if you never played the game, just for the dice and the extra miniatures. And
I imagine the boards as well.
The boards were good too, because if you just needed a really simple castle setting, or like a random road with some forest, or something like that, yeah, it would be it was good for that too. So again, it had enough stuff in it that even if you never played the game proper, if you were just into tabletop role-playing games, there was enough supplementary material in there that buying all that stuff for yourself separately would have been way more money than just buying this board game.
No, I could see that. There's been a lot of good deals like that. D&D itself, TSR I should say, used to put out great box sets before AD&D came out.
Well,
or I should say concurrently. D&D that came out at the same time AD&D was.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, while Wizards has owned it, there's a couple of board game tie-ins for 5th edition that are actually a pretty good deal. Again, even if you don't even have to play the game. It just literally, for the amount of money you're spending, the sheer number of minis that some of these old board games came with was so many. Like, there was one that was all about goblins, and there were so many goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbear minis in there that, like, you could buy this box set, and it would be far cheaper than buying all those minis separate. And you just got a ton of them. So
I'm sorry, I would buy that box set, get the goblins, and have an all squig army for 40K.
I could see that.
Give you some trouble.
There's been a few amazing things. The 95 Dark Sun box set came with a map, a cloth map.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a friend of mine had that.
Yeah, I've got it and the 1991 one. The 1991 one was heavily tied into the 1992 SSI game Shattered Lands for the Dark Sun setting.
Oh, okay. You know what? That is actually one of my favorite campaign settings for D&D, and unfortunately, I know for a fact that Wizards will never republish that setting because there's too much quote-unquote, harmful behavior or whatever in there, stuff that people could get offended by.
Like, are we talking the name of the half-human, half-dwarf race? Because that I could see, but the rest would be a bit of a stretch.
Hey, there's stuff I didn't think anyone could get offended by in D&D and some of the old books. And the thing is if you've actually ever bought any legacy material from Wizards of the Coast, like either 5th edition versions of some of these old campaigns or adventures or anything, or even just the old adventures reprinted for the systems that they were originally in, there is always a disclaimer in front of every single one of them saying that, well, we didn't write this, so we bear no responsibility if you get offended by anything that's in these pages.
Okay, quite possibly the most ancient and offensive thing I have that is still technically a TSR item. So we're talking before the buyout.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my shelves right now, and there's a lot of second edition for me to pick from. Okay, first of all, let me get this out of the way. There is a book that is more offensive, and that would probably be Oriental Adventures.
I know that one.
I have that book.
Edition. Third Ed actually gets way more respectful, but it still has a problematic title, although it mostly uses L5R material converted to D20.
Yeah.
But the most one is, okay, I'm just going to say it, Menza Berenzen. Now, I used to say Menza Berenzen as a kid, but when I played the video game, Menza Berenzen is apparently how it's properly pronounced.
I also used to pronounce it Menza Berenzen when I used to read all like the Drizzt books and stuff when I was younger.
Well, this is the box set, and it's basically set before most members of Drizzt's family are killed.
Yeah.
Or shortly after. They've got a lot of ad hoc stats.
Yeah.
But one of the things is, inside there is a bunch of pre-made Chaotic Evil Drow Drow player characters you can use for an all-Drow game.
Yeah.
And throughout the book, the Drow have looked like basically the, usual depictions of Drow, where it's very clearly there's a purple or pitch obsidian tone to their skin.
Yeah.
Not on these placards. These are very obviously African-American elves would be my best way to put it.
Oh. Well, you see, I've never actually seen a version of a... okay, no, I'm wrong. I have seen versions of the Dark Elves that have, like, darker human-colored skin before, but that's always in something like... there was this one character who was supposed to be a Dark Elf in Record of Lodos War.
Oh, I know who you mean. The one who was fighting Deedlit most of the time.
Yes. And the thing is, they basically look the same, practically, except the quote-unquote Dark Elf just has darker skin.
Yeah, I mean, the Dark Eldar in Warhammer 40k are paler than the normal Eldar. They're just also hideously deformed in some ways, or they're at least definitely no longer the baseline race if you get them away, and you see what they look like without their armor.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I always thought, to me, it always was a little silly, though, that I always thought the Dark Elves should have been, like, super, super pale, like, kept the white hair, but just also had, like, really, really pale skin. Because, like, as a kid, I was like, wait a minute, but everything that lives in a cave or underground looks white. Because
it's got nothing penetrating the skin, so the Drow make no sense. but then neither do the Dwergar by the same standard.
Yeah. Or the Deep Gnomes, which I can never pronounce their actual name correctly.
Snirpnevbin or something, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly think somebody just like typed something in and then just hit a bunch of random keys in the middle of the keyboard, right? And it's like, okay, well, how do we pronounce this? I don't know. Just put it in a book and ship it.
I mean, look at the name of, like, we're able to pronounce Menza Barons in 2 different ways.
Yeah.
So I think some of them we can kind of get. I've heard Ed Greenwood. Ed Greenwood actually pronounces it Menza Baranzen. The video game play pronounces it Menza Baranzen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there we are.
Oh, don't even get me started on official names for dragons.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I do have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I will let you continue your conversation. Thank you for inviting me to play, and you guys have a good night.
Thank you for coming
too.
out,
Have a good
guys,
one.
and you are always welcome.
All right, bye, guys.
But yeah, no, dragon names, those always confound me. It's like, here, we're going to put a bunch of X's and Z's and Y's, and then throw in some random consonants and vowels in there.
As a man of Welsh descent, like, I can kind of understand. Gods, there was no good way to make that joke, was there?
No. Half the people aren't going to get it.
Look, I know it looks like in Welsh, all we have are the letters C, M, W, and Y, but I should just tell you, it's all just C and Y. For any M or any W, we just take 2 C's and turn them either up or down.
Is this our wind down?
Yeah.
Probably. All right, yeah, I think it looks... We're down to 3 people in the game, one of whom is already off, so...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let me reload.
And like I said, we've been going at this for 3 hours and 45 minutes.
NCIS. Sponsored by...
I mean, I could still go, but, you know, at the same time, other people seem like they...
Yeah, I'm winding down over here.
All right, so I believe, what would we call today's episode? Fuck your weekday?
Fuck your weekday.
Fuck your weekday. All right, do you want me to go ahead and do one of those tests?
Yeah, go ahead, do them both if you think you can. Show us your skill, Magic Man.
Where you put them in general?
No, they're in the script.
Do it as one breath. I'm not doing that. I'm 46. I've gone through COVID once. I can't do that.
Oh, I didn't even do it in one breath. I don't even care.
Who am I getting? I'll try it. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pairs of Don Alvazero's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonians in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 sympathetic, apathetic, catatonic old men on roller skates with a marked propensity towards procrastination and sloth, 10 lyrical spheric. Okay, I had to stop at spherical.
Do I have to do this again?
I got close. I got to the next to last line.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I can do it all in one. But like I was saying, the way I do it is you do one line, then you do that line in the next line, then like so on and so forth. And I did it earlier.
I'm not going to do it that way, but I'm going to put my shot on this and see what we can do here. Let's see. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pairs of Don Alvaro's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonians in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 sympathetic, apathetic, catatonic old men in roller skates with a marked propensity towards procrastination and sloth, 10 lyrical, spherical, diabolical denizens of the deep who all stall around the corner of a group of Quo of the K and quivery all the same time. I know I messed up that last part, but
1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pair of Don Alverzo's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonians in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 sympathetic, apathetic, catatonic old men on roller skates with a marked propensity toward procrastination on slot, 10 lyrical, spherical, diabolical denizens of the deep who all stand around the corner of the quo of the quay of the quivery all at the same time. 2 breaths.
well, I did mine in several breaths. I was just I just did what I did when I played saxophone, which is you, if you're not resting and you just got to play a long part, you play, and then in between notes, you just take really tiny, short micro breaths, and then just keep blowing.
Yeah, I used to do that as a clarinetist, so.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get a rest or a part where you have like, or some other small gap in what you're playing, then you can finally just inhale.
You know, I'm going to totally fuck it up, but I'll give the second one a try too. The WFMT announcer's lot is not a happy one. In addition to uttering the sibilant, mellifluent cadences of such cacophonous sounds as Hans Schmidt-Eiderstadt, Karl Schuricht, Niakor Zabaleta, Hans Knapperbusch, and the Hammerklavier Sonata, he must thread his vocal way through the complications of L'Orchestre de la Suisse Romande, the Kortgebouw Orchestra of Amsterdam, the Leipzig Gewandhaus Orchestra, and other complicated nomenclature. However, it must by no means be assumed that the ability to pronounce L'Orchestre de la Société des Concerts du Conservatoire de Paris with fluidity and verve outweighs in ease, naturalness, and friendliness of delivery when at the omnipresent microphone. For example, when delivering a diatribe considering Claudia Muso, Beniamino Gigli, Hetty Blumacher, Giacinto Pirandelli, Hilda Rosa Magin, and Lena Pagalighi, 5 out of 6 is good enough if the 6th one is mispronounced plausibly. Jessica Dragonette and Margaret Truman are taken for granted. Poets, although not such a constant annoyance as polysyllabically named singers, creep in now and then. Of course, Dylan Thomas and W.B. Yeats are no great worry. Composers occur almost incessantly, and they range all the way from Albanese, Alphen, and Auric through Wolf Ferrari and Zeisel. Let us reiterate that a warm, simple tone of voice is desirable, even when introducing the Bach cantata Ich hatte viel Beckhamens, I can never do German that quick, or Monteverde's opera Les Inconzons di Popea. And I fucking suck at Italian, I don't give a shit. Such then is the warp and woof of announcers' existence in diesen Heilgeien Hallen.
German doesn't stump me that much.
It's the fact that my brain and my mouth don't move at the same pace when I'm looking at German.
Oh, I just don't have a problem. I don't have a big problem with it most of the time because my entire family is German and I've heard it and been around it my entire life. So, you know, it's just kind of second nature for some of it. Some of it still does. So, because I've encountered a couple words here and there that just have some really odd pronunciations that I've never seen before or heard anyone actually pronounce the word. But, you know, other than those random things, I usually have a pretty decent grasp of it.
Alright, well, I think it is time for our sign-offs, and I think I'm actually going to go second this time. So, Cass, would you like to lead us off?
I mean, I have nothing all that important to say, so I'll just say had a lot of fun tonight. Glad you had me on, and I will catch you all later.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Please remember that next Tuesday we shall be playing another round of Leverage. We only have 2 more weeks to go, I think, before we are done. And then we'll just have to figure out more topics for this little bonkers show. Also, remember, our comment discussion tonight is cell phones are cursed objects that cause psychic damage. And with that, Rasklin, would you like to destroy us with your professionalism?
This coming Saturday night, Over the Edge will be on at 10 p.m. Central. Will we have an 80s episode? Will we not? Am I going to be in a new wave state of mind? I'll be out for the night of April 26th, as we'll have a special performance during my absence.
All right.